technically. Got my shitty mic. Water.
Gotta have water. All right, everybody, we're getting stream set up. We gotta do some things. Hang on a minute. Hold on for us. Whoop! Let me just knock everything over. That's good. Okay, I don't want to get any paint on my mouse pad. We'll put that out of the way.
My mouse pad is in the direct line of fire. Maybe I should not do that.
Mine is very lightly colored. I don't want to get black wash paints all over it.
I will be moving my mouse pad as well. That is a good idea.
Yeah.
I'm also sacrificing my watercolor brushes to model making.
Oof. I have a big bin of super cheap brushes that I'm going to use.
Well, I want to use good brushes for this, that way the paint turns out good.
I mean, that's true. You're doing something different.
Yes.
With the weathering stuff, I can just kind of use
whatever.
whatever.
I have custom weathering kits for mine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have homemade weathering kit stuff, so...
Because when I start a hobby, I blow as much money as humanly possible on it to begin with.
Who doesn't?
I do not know where the baby corridor went. It is just gone.
Oh, no.
It's somewhere in the tank. Hopefully.
Hopefully. All right, stream. We're going to go to the webcam now.
Hey.
Hello. Hello, everybody. You can totally see all of my garbage over here.
I was like, oh my god, guns?
Yeah, that's right. Oh, you can also see, just barely, you can see the little pin for FOC. Let's move that. Since that's what we're doing today, we are making props for Fair of Champions. At least I am.
Are you, allowed to promote that, or...?
I mean, they're not a sponsor, but yeah. I literally spoke with the owner when I was there and told him I'm a content creator and was going to make stuff about it, so... And he was like, totally awesome, do it, yeah! He was a super cool dude. Super chill. So yeah, he was just excited people were having a good time. Let's see, what do we need to start? Okay, I'm gonna do some dry brushing to start. Oh yeah, so today I've got these Flintlock pistol props, which are gonna be for my pirate costume for Fair of Champions. Pirate Weekend is February 1st and 2nd. I think it's called High Seas Adventure or something like that. So we're gonna go to that. I've got these little prop guns, and I want to paint them up to look a little better. We're gonna get rid of the orange tips. I've got some silver paint, so we're gonna take care of that. We're gonna touch up these little gray pieces that are supposed to be silver. We're gonna make those shiny, and then I'm gonna do some weathering. I'm gonna make up some rust-colored paint. We're gonna do some rust splotches. We're gonna make some oxidation for the brass parts. And then we're just going to do some washing. But first, we've got to sand it. You can see I started prepping this one just a little bit. I've got some 80 grit and some 150 grit. Oh, where did I put that? There it is. Nope, that's the pallets. Where did my sandpaper go? There it is. Sandpaper. All right. So we got some 80 grit and some 150 grit. This stuff is ancient, but it still works. So, hey. We're going to use it. I've got my custom black wash here, which we'll make use of. I've got some India ink, if we need that. I've got all these super cheap-ass paintbrushes in this old Kleenex box. I've got some cardboard pallets, because we're doing it the super cheap way. And I've got this pile of very used acrylic tubes, which we're going to use to mix up our paint colors. I've also got an X-Acto knife, I've got a file, I got some Sharpies, got a chainsaw file. We got some other tools if we need to do some other weathering on these bad boys. But yeah, we're just gonna have some fun. Just gonna relax today. Let's start with one of these pallets. I've got some cups of water everywhere. And I'm going to use this brush. I'm going to use cheap-ass ancient brushes. What are you doing today, Haneri, who is joining us for the stream?
I am working on a plastic PVY-5A Catalina model.
Very nice, very nice.
Using a bunch of tools I have never seen or used before in my life. And absolutely no idea what's going on, so I will be figuring it out as I go. But it's fine.
Very nice. Very nice. I've got the chat on my main screen right here today, which is so unusual. Oh my gosh, I don't normally get to see that. I'm also not used to painting with something in front of my face, this microphone here, so we may have to move it out the way somewhere and just adjust the settings a little bit. For right now, it seems to be working out, so we'll just not worry about it too much. Let's see. I'm gonna start out by we're gonna sand stuff first. I got this chunk of 80 grit here, and we're just gonna give it just a light little kind of just rub it, kind of give it a light sanding. We just want to score up the surface so that the paint sticks. We don't want to do too much wear. You can see I'm kind of wearing through the gold here onto the or this brass color onto the black plastic. I don't really want to be doing that just yet, because I don't have the stuff to mix up a brass paint. So we're gonna have to be careful about that. I don't have any golds or anything shiny metallic except for silver, so gotta be careful with that. I actually went to go look for some, as well as some white, because I'm almost out of white. Didn't find any of that today. Everybody was out of stock. I didn't have time to go to as many stores as I wanted. But the Lobby of Hobbies, not a sponsor, did not have any, so...
Not sponsored, not affiliated.
Nope. No sponsorships, no affiliations.
Am I allowed to express opinions about companies on your stream?
You know, as long as you don't get into politics, we're okay.
Cool. I'm not a fan of Hobby Lobby, but it's the only store within like an hour of me, so I also have been using Hobby Lobby.
I get that. I go to Hobby Lobby because they have all the stuff. Ooh, excuse me. They have all the stuff that I need at a decent price in my area.
Yeah.
Is it the best option? No.
The one around here is a little overpriced, but it's also
That's
the
fair.
only craft store in the area, which is probably why.
Yeah, you're kind of in a desert for stores and stuff here, where you're at.
Yeah.
I live in a major metropolitan area where I got everything I need. But, unfortunately, it doesn't always make it easy, gotta say. Okay, I'm not trying to do like a crazy good job of this. I just kind of want to score it up, because I don't necessarily want the paint to stick to everything. It'll add to the weatheringness of what we're going for here. Oop.
I'm going for this with no primer, so we're gonna see how well it works.
Nice. Yeah, I'm not priming anything or like trying to do a full paint job here. So a lot of this is going to wind up coming off. I'm not even clear coating it. A lot of this is coming off, but that's okay. Do what?
So, I don't know that is the top. I don't understand how planes work. I want the bottom to be white.
Mm-hmm.
I'm modeling mine loosely for any of the plane nerds out there off of the OA-10, which is the Air Force's version of the PBY Catalina, because it's the only one I've had the pleasure of seeing in person and actually have good reference photos of.
There you
and
go.
That's fine.
Yeah. I will say something I don't like about these is that they don't really have any like wood grain texture or anything. But these were $10 at, again, not a sponsor, the old Cracker Barrel, actually, of all places.
Really?
Yeah. They're pretty good for a $10 toy from Cracker Barrel, I'm going to be honest.
And I've already got an enamel can on my desk.
Oh, I mean, I've got Sharpie and shit all over mine.
Yes, but I can't. This is not my desk.
Oh, that's
I mean,
true.
It is my desk, but it's not.
It's, yeah.
Permanently mine.
They'll make you pay for that.
There's already other crap on it.
Yeah. That's true. Okay, so we've done a little bit of a scoring job on this bad boy here. Kind of just scuffed it up a bunch so that we can get some paints to stick to it. Like I said, I'm not going too crazy with it. I don't want to like actually wear it down through this paint job. Alright, we're not going to worry about flashing or anything. I'm not worried about any of that. I'm going to wipe off some of this dusty bits. Alright, we've got to... Next, silver paint. Oh wait, let's go ahead and do both of these actually. So that way they're both prepped and ready to go. And you can see we're just using the 80 grit here to scuff up the surface and kind of just prep it for paint to stick. Also give it a little bit of texture so that it looks not so just shiny and smooth plastic, because that's not what we want. To be fair, these are going to be tucked into my big old pirate sash, so you're not going to see a ton of this. But in case I want to use them for photographs or anything, which, I mean, I'm definitely going to take a lot of pictures. I'm in a lot of the photos and part of the promotional video now for the fair. I'm not affiliated, they're not a sponsor, but I just happened to be around talking to people when photographs were being taken and videos were being made, so I'm in it.
Yippee.
Yippee! To be fair, every time I stopped to talk to a vendor about costumes or just the fair in general, there would be like a whole crowd would come wandering over and start talking to us. Because me and my friend Kazania, TikTok influencer, we both went dressed to the nines in our costumes, and we're getting a lot of attention from fair staff in general and just a lot of goers who were interested in how we did what we did and wanted to learn. So I figured I'd do a stream of how I do the stuff I do, because why not? That way people can just watch it. I can just send them a link to the video and be like, here's what we did. Here's how. Because, yeah, I've got well over a decade of experience in prop making and things for film and video work. It was my bread and butter back in school. I did theater and film stuff for years and years. I've worked every crew. I've done every job on a film set and in a theater. So I know the ins and outs like better than your average person anyway. And I'm using that experience to have fun at the Ren fairs and to do this kind of stuff. And to like build our cities and in the Minecraft server that we're working on and things that we normally do. If you're not here from our usual content, I'm normally a Minecraft content creator. I build big old cities and stuff. I also play Saturdays, usually my game or my day to play other games, but today we're doing this. Okay. There we go. Silver paint time. Can we get that? All right. Focus camera. There we go. So, I'm just going to take a little bit of the silver paint here. This is a thick body acrylic. I don't really care about this brand. It was just what I could get at the store. I normally use, not a sponsor, I normally use golden acrylics. I like the way they go on. I like the way they function. I like their colors. I like the way they mix, etc., etc. Just a big fan of the golden acrylics. Okay, now we're going to take a dry brush here. We're going to get just a tiny amount of water, and we're going to wipe that off. Just to wet those bristles down just a little bit. I don't care about beating this paintbrush up. This is a cheap-ass ancient brush. Doesn't matter. We're going to load up just a little bit of paint in here, and then we're going to dry that off. Because we want to do a dry brush technique. So we want to not be loading a lot of paint. So what we're going to do, we're going to come in here. We're going to go on to this part here, and we're going to just kind of brush those edges a little bit. And that's going to give us a nice highlight of this shiny metallic silver. And what that's going to do, you can see it starts to pull out that edge and makes it nice and shiny. It's a little bit hard to see on this webcam actually, but it does make it shinier. Adds some sheen to it, which is exactly what we want. And it keeps it just on those edges where things would wear out, where you're going to see that little bit of highlighting. So we're basically just doing an edge highlight on this by doing a dry brush technique. It's a very simple thing that I highly recommend you learn how to do. If you're doing any basic weathering like this, I'll do it on a section. We'll do it on here so you can really see it. So you see how that's brass now. And then if we take just on the edge there with this brush, just doot, 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 doot. Right there. Now you can see there's that little bit of silver shine on the edge. Kind of makes it look a little bit worn. And that's all we're going to do. We're just going to do that across the whole thing. I need to put a little bit more paint in this brush. I really didn't put very much in at all, because it's really easy to overdo it with dry brushing. We're just trying to do a light little touches here and there. just across this. I'm even going to do it on the brass, even though this is a silver paint, because it's going to bring out those edge highlights like I want. Really make it look a little bit shinier and really make it pop. And since we're just starting with a plastic toy, you know, we're gonna really do our best to make this whole thing just really shine. But not in like a glossy shine, in like a realism style. Alright. This may seem very minor, but makes a big difference. What were you saying?
Meanwhile, I've got the first coats of paint going on my little Catalina for the base colors.
Very nice, very nice.
Because it's supposed to be a model where they said, oh, you don't have to paint it. But it is, like, default blue.
Oh, yeah.
And Catalinas are a lighter blue. And I refuse to have default blue on my model.
I get what you're saying. It's like this one, where it's like, I mean, I don't really need to do anything to this, but I really want to make it look more real. Yeah.
Yeah. I want it to actually look like a Catalina.
Exactly. Now, I don't know if this is showing. Yeah, it's showing up on the camera. You can see that silver edge there on that brass now. And that really is going to help it pop, especially once we go back and add the oxidation that we're going to do here in a minute. We're just starting with these edge highlights. Just dry brushing edge highlights. Nice and simple. See, you can even see on there, it just kind of picks it right up on these edges. How it just grabs that paint and holds on right there on the edge just a little bit and shines that edge up. Make it look like it's rubbing on stuff all the time. That's exactly what we're going for.
I do not like enamel paints.
That is, yeah, I get you. I use acrylics a lot because I like the way they flow. I like how, especially thick bodies.
I will be using acrylic in my future projects, but the specific color I needed is enamel based.
Yeah, that makes sense. Sometimes you just got to work with what you got.
Yes. It does, however, unfortunately mean I need to go wash my hands.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Okay, we're going to put a little silver on this orange tip here. It's not really picking up very well. I did not prep those. Let's grab the sandpaper again. Where'd I put that? There it is. I forgot to prep the orange tip for holding paint, so it is not doing that. So we'll go ahead and fix that real quick. I'm not used to working like this on camera, so give me some time to adjust. You guys who are maybe having trouble seeing what we're doing, apologies on that. I do hope we have some of our regular friends pop in and say hello. I'd like to show them what we're working on today. I also wish we had a camera view for Henry there, but unfortunately, at the moment, we do not have that. We just got mine. Hope that's okay with y'all. Let's see. Can I adjust this just a little bit? Oh, okay. My webcam is currently double-sided taped to the top of my monitor because I didn't really have a good, better way to make it stay up there. Okay. Now, that silver paint's going to come right off, so let's just rub that off. I don't care about getting it on my hands. Acrylic paint comes off your hands quite easily, actually. So don't worry about getting it on there if you're doing this kind of thing. It comes right off. Just use some good soap. Not a sponsor, Dawn. Dawn will get that shit right off. Take it right off. You can also use just like pretty much any hand soap and just a light scrub will take acrylic paint right off your hands. It'll just peel right off most of the time.
Which is much nicer than enamels, which do not come off.
God, no. They are just in there. Once they're on, they are on. Okay, now this is a very dry brush. Okay.
I'm just going to deal with my hands being stained for the next week. It's a necessary result.
It's a necessary evil, yep.
For a labor of love.
Yeah. Okay. Now I'm going to, come in and put some full coats of silver on here. Now, Luckily, this silver paint I have happens to match the silver paint that is on here already.
Yay.
Very nicely. So that is good. Nice benefit there. It's going to take a few coats to get this silver to really cover over that orange. So we're just going to start with a couple light coats here. We're not going to go too heavy with it. This will dry really fast if we just do light coats like this. And we can just come back and do another coat in about 10 minutes. 5-10 minutes. It'll be good to go. Go ahead and get inside too. We're just going to swizzle this brush around in there. This is a cheap, shitty brush. Do not care what happens to it. Okay, we're going to come over here and wipe some of that off. We're going to go back to our dry brushing. Come back in here and just start dry brushing again. Boom. You can see I've got too much paint.
Background noise, chat. I'm trying to use cardboard so I don't get paint all over my entire belongings.
Yep, that's a smart choice. That's why I'm doing the cardboard palette here. Now, I'm not going to do anything to hide these screw holes or anything. I'm not even going to worry about it. The way these sit in my sash, I put the screw hole side up against my body so you do not see it anyway. And in pictures, we can do some little tricks to hide those, so we're not going to worry about it. Ain't a big deal. For what we're doing here, not an issue. Now, I will say I do wish I had a more bronzy color to use for this highlighting on here, to use for doing this dry brushing on the bronze color. And on the woods.
Do you have a little bit of orange or yellow you can mix into the silver?
I don't have any orange. I have a little bit of red, and I don't know if I have any yellow over here. I think I'm out of yellow right now. Yeah. I have red, no yellow. I'm out of yellow. I use a lot of yellow usually. Yeah, I used up all my yellow when I made my RC crawler track, and then I just never got any more.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I have a lot of greens, a lot of grays, and a lot of blues, and that's it.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Other than that, I have primary colors because I hand mix things most of the time.
Yep. I get that.
The only reason I'm not doing that with Catalina is because the very specific colors that they are already existed. And also, honestly, I don't want to have to keep remixing the same color because I do it all by hand every single time.
I get that. I also mix my own colors. And it's a giant pain sometimes if you come back later and you're like, I need to repaint this. Now I have to mix this color exactly the same again.
Which is possible, but
yeah.
It takes a minute, especially as somebody who has had like a semester of proper training. And that is
yeah.
it.
Meanwhile, I've got like 15 years of practice.
I just decided that it wasn't the right fit for me and didn't keep pursuing it because I prefer it as a hobby. I don't think I would have enjoyed it as a career.
That's entirely understandable. I get that 100%. I enjoyed doing the work as a part of a crew, but I didn't like the direction the industry as a whole was going, so I stepped away and went to food service.
Yeah, it definitely depends. I didn't care for the program at my college, so I ended up going with something different.
I get
at
that.
The time.
Yeah. I get that. For sure.
And now I'm using my paint knowledge to paint models.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
We're just getting in here doing some dry brushing. Just kind of swizzling this thing around in here on the back side of this. You're not really going to see it very much anyway. And if you get paint somewhere you don't want with acrylics, if you catch it early, you can just kind of scrape it off with your fingernail. Or grab a piece of sandpaper and just lightly rub it off and it just comes right off. Or you can even grab a paper towel and a little bit of water and just boop boop, it comes right off again. You know, no big deal. Okay, so there's our kind of weathering job. So here's an unpainted one next to the painted one. So you can see kind of how it makes the difference, really. Just right on those edges and stuff, you really see that highlighting. Makes it pop a little more. And of course, the tip isn't fully painted yet. We'll get to that. It just really makes a difference. You know, just that little bit. Once we come back and start doing our washes after we do our oxidation paints, it's really going to pop. You'll start to see all those dark places will really look dark, dark, dark. And those highlights will stick out even more. So we're going to, let's see. Oh, yeah, there's a little bit more I need to do on this one before we move on to the next one. And we're just using a piece of cardboard over here for our palette. Nothing crazy. You don't need anything fancy. You can have a fancy wet palette or whatever if you want. I don't need that for what we're doing. It is not necessary. Just adding this little touch of silver right on the edges. Really make that pop. And bring out those highlights. Do the same thing even on the trigger down here. Gonna hit that too. With those highlights on the edges. Boom. Just make it pop a little bit. Really makes a difference. I promise. Just that little bit. You may not think it does, but it definitely does. Alright, let's see. Can we... Oh, that's gonna flashbang. That's a little too bright. Okay. I was gonna say, I have a couple other lights we can really light up this area a little better. Or actually, what I should be doing... Hang on, let me go in here real quick. We'll change my desk lights to being just white for a minute. So that way we don't have the blues and stuff messing up our colors. Yeah, it's... Oh, I need to put on the Bluetooth. Whoops. Yeah. Got it. Done. Skip. Okay. Let's see. Let's just do... Let's go to scene. No. Let's just go to color. Whole light management. Just make the whole thing white. Please select the light segment. I'm gonna have to redo my custom color scheme later. Probably. Well. No. That should be alright. Okay. Do this 100% white. Just white. Is that? That's not exactly white. It's kind of blue white. Can I adjust it? I don't want it like yellow. I want white. Is that the best we get? Oh, really get white? Come on now. Okay.
That's unfortunate.
I know, right? Save. Okay. Cool. Alright, looks like that's the best we're gonna get. Okay. Mostly white. I'll have to redo my custom colors later. Not a big deal. That's fine. Honestly, I'll probably just leave it this and not even worry about it. There's the Streamlabs app again. There we go. Streamlabs. Boom. Okay. So we have their controller up. Okay. So, we got this one done. Let's go ahead and add a little bit to this too. We're just gonna, right on here, make sure we get this thing too. Gonna load up just a little paint. Just a little paint. And just mash it on there. I'm gonna be unceremonious about this. It doesn't need to be fancy. I want this thing to look beat up and grungy, so do not worry about how you make it look. This is not the kind of thing where I gotta worry about it. Just going for gross. Gross old pirate gun. Okay. Alright. There's our first one. All highlighted up. Very nice. Put that aside. We'll go to our second one. My desk is gross. From the sanding, there's just sand on my desk now. Ugh. Ugh. That's gross. Okay. We'll have to... Ugh. I'll wipe that off later. That just the sound was irritating me. Okay. Ugh.
It's okay.
Yeah. Be alright. Okay, we're gonna clean this off a little bit. Also kind of wet down our brush a little bit. It's getting a little beat up. This is a crappy brush. I don't really care. Not a big deal. Grab some of this acrylic. Just a little bit of that silver. Work it in. Just a little bit. There we go. And then we're going to start up here. We're just going to, boom, get those highlights in. You can really see that a lot more on this one. I guess it's not really picking up that well on the camera, but we're doing our best here.
Sure are.
I don't really have a good camera for doing this. Now, I've got too much paint on here. You can see it's really bled deep onto the body of the piece here. So we're going to come back and kind of swipe back towards the edge that we highlighted. That's going to pull some of that right back. Perfect. Okay. And we're just going to slap this on here. Come up on here. Hit those highlights. Hit those edges. Nice little dry brushing here of that silvery paint. We're just gonna load it up on here, on this. We're actually gonna kind of brush this back across the whole thing like that. And do the same thing here. Gonna just brush across the entire thing there. Let that pick up a lot of that silver. I just stuck my arm in the silver. I felt it.
As one does.
Gonna have to fix that. There we go. Okay. Back on here. Again, we just want to really primarily get those highlighted areas around the edges. Boom. Okay, now we got a lot of silver on the wood, so we're going to come in and just kind of rub that right back off. Just going to use our fingernail and scrape it right off, because with the dry brushing, it is like, it goes on, it's almost instantly dry. So you can just kind of lightly scrub it with your finger before it fully cures, and then it comes right off. No big deal. Not a big deal at all. And there we go. Cleaned right back up. Perfect. Okay. Back to more dry brushing. Very wet dry brushing. Hit those edges. Bring out those highlights. Again, I really wish I had a silvery, brassy, bronzy paint to use for that, but I don't. It's okay. I just have the silver. We'll make use of that. How's your model going over there, Henry?
Going. I'm
Going.
sanding the body so I can paint it.
Nice.
Getting some of the extra plastic that I don't need off because
Yeah.
of manufacturing errors and whatnot.
Oh yeah, all the flashing and everything.
Seams, yep.
Yep, hitting those seams.
Considering I'm using wood files, it's going pretty well.
And you know, I've got over here, I've got this metal file, and then I've got a chainsaw file that I use for a lot of my scoring and stuff like that. So, you know, metal files get the job done, especially with plastics. They work super fast. You can just kind of, and it's just done.
I'm just working in difficult areas, which is the problem.
Yep. Getting those little
shit.
fine details.
Yep. Like the insides of slots where things go need to be filed.
Yep.
So I do like these smaller ones. They are called needle files, apparently.
Those are very similar to the chainsaw files that I use. They're just like an even finer.
Radio Shack from 1985 from Fort Worth, Texas.
Hey, I've probably been to that Radio Shack when it was open. I guarantee it ain't there anymore. R.I.P. Radio Shack. It used to be the place for doing electronic hobbies and radio stuff in particular. And getting all those kits that you needed for stuff.
I could tell that these were definitely used for wood before this, but that makes sense because I have the wood models that they were used for also in my possession. Chat, for context, a lot of my model tools came from my late grandfather, who basically just loved doing it. I kind of picked it up independently from him, but when he died, ended up inheriting a lot of what he had.
As one
that's
does.
what I'm using.
Yeah. Very nice. Okay, now we're a little messy, but I'm not gonna worry about it.
I don't know if me filing is coming across on camera.
Oh, it's not a big deal. It's coming over a little bit, but not like in a bad way.
Okay.
I know some people don't like that sound, but y'all will get over it. Okay. All right. So those are now both lightly weathered. Let's get a good paintbrush out. Well, I say good. We're gonna get a better one out. We're gonna pick out a good one and do those tips now. Yeah, I'm trashing this paintbrush. It's gonna get thrown away when we're done. Who cares? Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, mine probably will as well.
Yep. Is that one gonna be? That one
I
worked.
think I wouldn't
Just
have
fine.
to.
I mean, I'm specifically using the cheap old stuff because I knew I was gonna do that. So,
That's okay.
yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's a common tactic for doing this weathering stuff. You use just one of your shitty old brushes because you don't need to use a good brush for this.
And they have texture, which helps.
Exactly. I even have a brush, this one here, which is like still got some crusty old paint in it. Even better, because then you get that really crunchy texture. Very nice. Alright, we got a lot of paint loaded up in here.
I actually know what I'm supposed to be filing, which is making this better because I'm just guesstimating and it'll be fine.
And then you filed off the tabs you needed to glue it to the next piece.
Nah.
Okay, we're probably gonna knock out I'm probably gonna knock out this job pretty quick, I think.
I filed half of the body. Now I have to file the other half. And I'll worry about the smaller pieces later.
Yeah.
So you gotta paint the big pieces first.
I get that. I was going to disassemble these and paint them all like individually, like all the bits, but then I realized that I didn't have super glue remover, and these orange tips are super glued on and they're holding both halves together. So that was just a no-go on that without breaking stuff. I could have kind of filed it off, but I actually want to leave these functional because at the fair there happens to be a thing between vendors. I'm not a vendor, but I happen to be friends with a lot of the vendors. The vendors have Nerf fights all day long. They just randomly show up and shoot each other with Nerf guns. I was hanging out, and two of the yep. I was hanging out, and two of the pub keepers started having a duel in the middle of the bar. It was pretty fun. So I wanna mess with some people.
With your off-brand Nerf guns.
They don't need to be branded. And they're Flintlocks, so, you know, the one-shot thing works so well. They actually are surprisingly good. I was messing around with them the other day. Ooh, catching all my cables. I was messing around with them the other day just to see how good they were as actual dart guns. Turns out they're pretty solid, actually, for a little $10 toy.
Interesting.
Yep. Yep.
I've noticed a trend with men is the Nerf guns.
Well, yeah, we grew up with them, and they're fun. They're too expensive to. Well, yeah, they're too expensive to even play with now, to be honest. But I mean, like the Mead tent. When I went to the Mead tent, they had two Gatling guns just like sitting facing the doorway. So anytime somebody tried to come in with the Nerf guns, they would just start unloading on them with the Gatlings. It was really funny.
Sounds pretty entertaining.
Yeah, they were having a good time. It was fun to watch.
I need a thinner sander. I have one. I think. It's a triangle. I don't want a triangle.
Yeah.
This one's tiny. This one might work.
Okay.
If not, I will have to get out my special engraving tool.
Yeah. We're just slowly layering up this silver paint on these tips here. One at a time. Just trying to work that orange away. Not gonna lie, it looks kind of cool right now with the orange back, or the silver backed with a little bit of orange. Actually looks kind of cool, kind of coppery. I'm tempted to leave it just because of that, but we're not going to. We're gonna add a little more.
No.
There's gonna be a little bit of a coppery shine when I'm done, no matter what. So.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna go super heavy with this paint, but I do want to add one more layer here.
Right.
Make it a little more silvery.
Sense.
Besides, I still got to come back with the rust paints too and everything, so I've got to mix up a rust color without having yellow. That's going to be fun. So I can't really make orange.
Perfect.
Um,
My goals were
be fun.
accomplished without an intense amount of pain and suffering. There are
Yeah,
now
yeah,
little
yeah.
plastic bits everywhere, though.
Yeah, that's generally how it goes.
Very true.
Yeah.
I'm also not using paper towels, so I have a roll of toilet paper.
I've got just some paper towels over here. Just a whole bunch.
I do not own paper towels, apparently.
Whoops.
I looked before I started stream.
Yeah.
So we're working with what we've got.
Hey, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. I've definitely done this and just had like Taco Bell napkins. I've been like, well, that's what we're gonna use today. Thank you, Tackable. Also, not a sponsor. Again, no, we have no sponsors here. Just, I want to make that clear. Nobody is sponsoring this stream. Nobody cares. This is not. We're not.
Sponsored, definitely not affiliated.
No, not with anybody. Not at all. Not even a little bit. I wish.
I'm gonna have to buy more paint.
Alright, clean that off a little bit. Okay, throw that in there. Okay, so there's our tips are kind of painted up a little bit. We've got our silver done. That only took 40 minutes or so. That's not a big deal. Neat. Alright, let's see. Not even a little bit. I'm not in any rush. We're here just doing our thing. I'm going to get out some of these really tiny, like really jacked up brushes. I mean, look at how gross that one is. That's gross. We're going to use that.
You need to take better care of your brushes.
These were my dad's, so I have no idea what he did with these. I've literally never used these brushes before. I have some of them I did, like these two I've used a lot. This one in particular I've used a bunch. I usually use stuff like this because I'm usually doing bigger stuff. I don't have my liner brushes anymore or anything, so I don't have high quality brushes. So I don't take care of them. So most of these are throwaway brushes. Or like they were gross when I got them, so I used them for doing the gross paint work.
And unlike him, I am very meticulous about my brushes.
Oh yeah, I'm not. No, I don't have fancy brushes, so I don't care. This is my nicest paintbrush, and I take care of this one quite a bit. I use this one all the time too. So
I inherited a lot of paintbrushes from a lot of different people.
Yep.
And as a result, I take care of them because I have a very large, all of my paintbrushes are medium to high quality, except for the ones I'm currently using for the enamel, which were still not like dollar store. They were still fairly expensive.
Yeah. No, I'm using cheap ass old crappy brushes because that's the kind of work we're doing.
I also do a lot of somewhat professional painting.
I mean, I've definitely done professional quality painting with terrible brushes.
That's true. I'm just weird.
Yeah.
It's about what you create, not how you create it. You don't need fancy supplies to make good art.
Nope.
I, however, like to use fancy supplies to make good art.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. If you like those supplies, do it. I usually have a very small budget to work on things, so I'm working within very tight constraints usually. So I just make do with what I've got, kind of most of the time.
And there is nothing wrong with that.
Nope, not at all. I've done stuff that's won awards at film festivals using cheap, shitty-ass brushes and styrofoam and glue to make stuff. I mean, I've literally made stuff out of cardboard and styrofoam, and it made it onto a movie set. So I mean, sometimes you just do what you gotta do.
Exactly.
All right, I'm gonna make use of this this bubble paint. It's actually fabric paint, but it happens to have a nice body to it. It's very thick, which I want that thickness today. And I'm not gonna use my naphtha red today for this.
Huh?
What'd you say there?
I said, boy, howdy.
Uh-huh. All right.
I am turning into a Smurf quite rapidly.
Oh, no. We're gonna squirt out a little bit of this Christmas red here. Then we're gonna take, I also need some blue and green. We'll use that for oxidized stuff. I got my giant thing of black. I'm gonna put a little black on my palette here. I had the giant cheap thing of black because I use so much of it. I didn't want to buy the expensive fancy stuff. I bought the giant cheap ass, like this was like $3 or whatever. 1 quart of black paint. Put that over there next to the mead. All right.
Don't even get me started on paint brands.
Oh god, yeah. I mean, these are not a sponsor, but this is my go-to is Golden Acrylics. That's I just like their paint. I like the way it mixes up and works.
Okay. It's not what I use, but I will get it if I don't have my normal options.
That's
but
fair.
I also don't need to buy paint often because I buy in extreme bulk.
Exactly.
And I'm pretty good about using what I make.
That's white. That's blue. That's green. That's titanium white. All right, we'll use some of this titanium white. Let's use up this tiny tube. Whoop. Okay, good. I didn't drop it in the paint. Okay, we're gonna do this thing. I have to get the last bit of paint out of the tube maneuver. There we go. That is thoroughly empty now. We have completely emptied that. Okay, now to get the color I want, I don't have yellow. Like I have 0 yellow paint, absolutely none. Yep, not a single bit of yellow. So, how am I gonna get a rust color? I need
Orange.
I don't have orange either. I have red, blue, green, black, silver, and white.
So you don't have brown?
Nope. I'm gonna have to make brown.
I do the smallest bit of red, silver, and a little bit of white.
Yep. I'm gonna go with some red. We're gonna take some red here. Take a little bit of silver and some white.
My background is in color theory when it does come to art.
Same.
Does that mean I'm good at it?
It's just a touch of black.
That is what my background is.
There. Grab some more red. Into that. Grab some more white as well. Okay, we're kind of winding up with like a pinky shade here. Let's add a little more of this black. I don't know what the base is from this black, but...
Did you say you had green?
I do have green. I'm going to add a little green here in a second.
I was going to say, add some green to neutralize the red and which bring out more of the yellow.
Yeah. I also need to add some blue to my palette anyway, so I'm going to add that too while we're at it. Got some green. Get those brushes out the way. I'm going to need the green and blue for each other. My green is like solidifying in the tube, so that's going to have to be mixed up a little bit.
Paint thinner.
I don't have paint thinner. I have water though, but all of these thin with water, so it's okay.
It's acrylic. It's basically the same thing. I'm using enamel. I have to be special.
Yeah, I don't. My blue is still in great condition. My green is not. That's okay. Okay. Take just a touch of that. Mix that in. Oh, kind of that. Take a touch of this. And
Me frustrated? Nah.
Alright. We wound up with like a gray color here. We're gonna add a little more red in. Going for like a rusty, gross color with what I've got. Now, I'm gonna test this on my skin. That's a little... We're getting there. We're getting there. It's a little too gray still. I'm gonna add a little more of this.
I'm glad to see that you two are getting paint all over yourself.
I use my hand to test paints all the time. Honestly, like I've always done that. That's much closer to what we're looking for. Still got a lot of shine to it.
Enamel paint because I'm only working with one color right now.
Yeah. How's that look on there? Yeah, there we go. That's got the right kind of color that we're looking for. Okay. We're going to add some of this rusty to only the silver bits. We're just going to we're going to stipple it on there in places. Going to kind of just roughly stipple it on there with this grody brush. We're going to pull some right back off our hands where we've got that mixed. We're gonna keep going with that. And we've got the 2 tones, so we're gonna. You can see I've got some variation in the tone here in my palette as well, so I'm gonna make use of that. We're gonna start out with this red. Put a lot of reds in. That's okay. We're gonna tone that back here in a minute, and once we add the washes as well, that'll make a huge difference to really bringing out that rusty color. I really do wish I had some yellow. That would really make it pop a little more. Adding some yellows and browns. But we're working with what we got. So, you know, it's all right. Not a big
Best
deal.
way to do it.
Yep. Exactly. Okay, and we're just gonna kind of stipple this onto all the silvery bits. You can see how that's looking now. It actually sells a lot better as rust on camera than it does in person, I'm gonna be honest. It is a red rust, though. It's not like a brown rust. So, we're getting in there with that. That's okay. We're gonna bring that back just a little bit in a second. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a paper towel. We're just gonna kind of rub this a little bit where we just painted. And that's gonna pick up some of the paint, but not everything. It's going to kind of wear that back a little bit and kind of fade those edges in. You can see I'm picking up a lot of paint here on this, and it's also going to smear some of that paint that we picked up onto the areas that we didn't put anything. That's going to help sell that rusty old grody look even more. And it's going to bring those edge highlights back out as we rub over everything. See, and that makes a big difference there. Okay. Now, back to our brush. I need to get like in here, deep in there. Make sure we get into the recessed bits. Gonna hit this too. Make sure we get up on the back side of that, underneath here. Go ahead and cock this back. So that way we can get up underneath that too, where that sits. So that way no matter where this is, it looks like it's covered everything. We're being rough about the stippling here. We just want it to be all kind of rough and you can see because I used that thick body, it's got some texture to it. You can actually feel it when you're touching it with your hands. It's hard to see that texture on camera though, I will say. You can really feel it with your hands when you're touching the thing. Okay, this thing is looking gross. Perfect. Exactly where I want it to be. Just old and worn out and gross.
My first coats are looking good.
Fantastic. Good to hear. Okay, when we paint this over these silver parts where we painted the silver, it honestly looks more brass and bronzy again, which is actually good. We're going to take this, we're going to rub it again. Just rub those edges back in. Kind of clean that up a little bit. Bring that back out. Now we're looking at, it's kind of starting to look a little dusty and gross and dirty and old dingy. Perfect. All right. We're going to come through and I'm going to use my fingernail to just scrape along the edge where this is here and just clean that right up. Boom. I'll do the same thing on the other side. Just scrape that edge, clean up the edge of where that wood texture is so you don't see that rust paint and that dirt paint coming through onto there. All right. Come over here, do that too.
I honestly don't know how any of these are supposed to be painted.
I love moments like that where you're just like, how am I supposed to do this? Okay, there we go. Yeah.
Right. I'm thinking I'll just paint everything like a default, other than
Unpainted?
stuff that I know isn't, and then I'll worry about
Painted.
painting in more detail a little bit later.
Yeah.
Because like the propellers and stuff, I don't need to worry about it. I can just paint them from how they are, but the wheels and stuff, I'm probably gonna have to paint.
Yeah. All
Also,
right.
I don't know. see the point of putting gunners in the model if they're not going to be visible in the final product.
Are they not going to be visible in the final product?
No, they're not.
Yeah, well, why the hell you put them in there?
I'm probably not painting them, but I'll put them in there.
Just paint them black or something and put them in there.
Do not know what these pieces are for.
Okay.
That's fine. I'll
So
take me a minute before I get over there.
we look at these two next to each other. You can see that rust job on the top one really makes it look a lot dingier, dirtier, grosser compared to only the weathering of the silvers on the bottom one. Big difference there. I know it's hard to tell because of the blue lighting from my screen, but yeah, look at that.
It's also a trust the process.
Oh yeah, for sure, most definitely is. Little green, little blue, little white, a lot of red, little silver. Put in way too much blue that time. That's okay. Mix that in. That in. Way too much blue. Bring some more green over. There we go. There we go. Okay. It's gonna have some greens in it and some stuff. How does that look compared to these? Okay, that's similar to that one. Add a little more red in there, so you can really bring it out. So wherever you want, and grab some of that white. Add that in. There we go. Perfect. And putting that up next to the one we used before. It's a little bit more metallic, but that's just fine. We'll run a little more red in. Grab from that red side. There we go. Perfect. All right. So now we're just going to come in and just stipple this all over this side. And just make it look all dingy and gross, just like we did on the other side. Dirty, grimy, gross old metal. And there it is. You can see it coming right out. Oh, it looks so good on camera, honestly. Oh my gosh, you can see that really popping out the way I want. Pull off my hand and off of here, because we're not properly mixing everything, so that way you get that variation of things. We want it to be varied a bit. Don't want it to be perfect across all of them. Don't hurt yourself over there.
No. Maybe a little bit.
Alright, get this in here. Make this all gross and dirty and grimy. Look at that. There we go, get on here.
God.
Huh?
Why did I do this in the beginning?
What's up?
I can use my plant trimming scissors. I have two sets, by the way. I'm not using ones that go in the aquariums to trim the models.
Oh yeah. I actually happen to have I have a set of nippers that I use for that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't actually have to sand most of this now.
Yeah. Or if you're just doing the flashing, if you happen to have like a knife or a really sharp blade, you can always use that to pull flashing off too.
Yes, but if I'm going to do that, that's super high risk, and I am accident prone, so I will not be doing that on stream.
Oh, that's fair. Yep. I get that. Okay,
Back to staring at the instructions that aren't really instructions.
Here we go. Add a little more of that to there. We're actually going to come back. I'm going to add a little more of this on this side too. A little more over here. A little bit grosser on this side. A little bit rustier and dirtier. Grimier. I really do wish I had yellow and brown to really bring in those colors, but we're getting close with this red, blue, green mix, so we'll roll with that for right now. Okay. We're just gonna kind of throw some of this on here. Kind of just roughly. We want that texture coming in. Want to feel it when you're touching it.
Engine.
Make sure you get all the sides that you can see. Get all the bits and bobs.
No, I find out in 20 seconds. No. Yes.
All right. There we go. It's looking rusty and gross now. Old and dirty and dingy and gross and rusty and yes, perfect.
Oh, it's the landing struts. That would make sense. I was like, why do they look like this? That's why.
Because they're landing strips.
Why do they look like that? Because that's what they are.
Because that's what they look like. Okay. Make sure I get this.
I can't quote that because I'm live. You don't even know what it was. Don't laugh at me.
No, but if you can't say it while it's because we're live, it's got to be funny. Knowing you.
You have so much faith in me. It's impressive.
Yeah. Somebody's got
Good
to.
news. I only have.
Uh-huh.
Like 30 more pieces to paint.
Okay.
I've only painted 4 in this entire time.
All right. You got this.
Sure do.
Okay. Come back and rub this a little bit. Just kind of rub that off. All right. That looks so much different now. Having all that grody old, rusty, gross painting on there. Look at that. Really changes the look.
Actually putting this together is going to be very interesting.
Yeah. I feel that.
This is not one of the models where I have the luxury of it being a step-by-step guide.
Oh, no.
It's kind of just a general figure it out.
Yeah.
So here's a vague idea of where everything goes. How you actually fit it together, that's on you.
Yeah. We made it. We don't know how it goes together, though. Okay, we're cleaning up all these edges now where I got paint on the wood. You see, just a light sanding brings that all right back off. Problem solved. Light sanding cleans that wood right up. Boom. All right, let's hit right here too. Got a little bit of paint right there we don't need.
Water break.
Oh, yep, hydration time.
Hydrate.
Ooh.
Hydrate or dihydrate.
Make sure I don't drink out of the paint water cup.
Too late.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. It's fine, chat. Okay, I should also not drink out of the paint water.
Yep.
I'm also using my water bottle to fill up the paint water.
I mean, I used my water cup to fill up my paint water cups too, yeah. I've got a few, actually. I got 3 of them ready, just in case.
As you do.
Yeah, you know. You never know. Okay. Come over here. We got the blues and greens. I'm going to take a bunch of this white. Just a big old clump of that white. I'm going to take a big old clump of green. I'm going to mix the white and green together here. I'm going to make this a very light colored green. That white is really chunky.
Having the mix light green could not be me.
Excuse me. This needs a wet palette because these are chunky. Ugh. Oh, that's chunky. Let's get some water. There we go. That's helping. There we go. All right. That helps. That helps a lot. Okay. We're gonna clean that up a little bit and grab a big old chunk of this blue. The blue is very wet. That's good. Mix this blue in with this white and green. What we're going for is actually a bit of this oxidized brass color, which if you look kind of here, you can see, well, okay, it shows up as white on there, but there's like this blue-green color that brass gets when it oxidizes, and that's what we're going for. Oh, God, I have too much going on here with this brush. This is, okay. Here we go. Let's add some more water. Look at that. We've already got that color nailed. Boom. Grab a little bit of this brown that we were using and mix that in. Just a little bit. Teeny tiny bit of that brown. Bring that in.
I'm pretty sure this kit's supposed to take me like 5 hours start to finish.
That's if you're not doing all the extra work that you're trying to do, though.
We're already at, what, an hour and 5 minutes?
Yeah, but we weren't working the whole time. Or were you?
I mean, I have been.
Oh, well, there you go. Okay. We've got kind of a variation of blue and green and white mixed in here. Not all perfect. Okay.
I'm not easily distractible. I mean, I am, but not as much as you are.
Yeah. I mean, I've been stopping to talk about what we're working on and stuff and, like, showing it off. That's pretty much what I'm doing there. Yeah, I'm going to put a lot of this on here. It's almost like a coppery color here. That's okay. And we're going to put a bunch of this on, and then we're going to wipe it off. Put it on thick. And then wipe it off.
We're good.
And I remember all these tones that you're seeing are going to get toned down once we do our black wash at the ends. That's really going to darken everything down. Bring out those highlights a lot more as we fill in the lowlights with our wash. Okay, now you can see I got a little blue on the wood there, but that's okay. We'll clean that up. Oh, definitely don't want to stick my finger in the blue-green paint, though. That's
Stick your finger in the blue-green paints. You know you want to.
Oh, I already did. It's happened now. Ooh, that's a lot. All right. All right, it's cold and goopy, as one would like. Okay, we're gonna grab our paper towel and just kind of rub it. Rub it back a little bit. See, you're gonna lose a lot of that, but that's okay. Just kind of rub it in. Makes it like a lot splotchier. Oop. There we go. Kind of just rub it. Clean this up right here. Come on, microphone cable. Or headphones cable.
Nar.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Spent too much time around Australians. Y'all are great people, though.
You've spent too much time around me, who mocks Australians.
I spent 12 years leading an organization of Australian gamers. Okay.
I almost just fell out of my chair.
Oh.
Talking about Australians was too much for my feeble brain.
Oh, no. Got something you want to tell us there?
No, I hate the French, not Australians.
Oh.
That's a joke, Chad. I don't hate anyone. I hate everyone. I hate us all equally.
Everyone sucks.
Other than Bird. He's okay, I guess.
Oh, thanks.
Sometimes.
Only sometimes, though. Most of the time, I'm completely insufferable.
That is so not true. Most of the time, he's not as annoying as everyone else.
As annoying. Not as annoying.
Hey, everybody annoys me to an extent.
That's fair.
I hang out with the people that I find less annoying.
Well, I'm glad I'm less annoying than most people.
And this is maybe an entirely bit, and I'm the friendliest person that anybody's ever met. But nobody would ever know because I don't ever talk to anybody. Only Bird knows.
Yep.
You can keep my secret or spill it.
Alright, then keep your secrets.
Okay.
Oh, you didn't catch my ref. Well, maybe you did. I don't know. You know, I don't know how much Lord of the Rings lore you know.
None.
Oh, well, then you definitely didn't get that one.
I was mad. Oof. I hate sanding.
Yeah, agreed.
I'll say as I keep sanding. Fine, I'm almost done. With all of the pieces but the clear ones.
Yeah.
Which I'm not touching until I've been freed of paint. Because I know what will happen.
Yep. Gonna immediately get paint all over everything.
Do I even have the right color paint for this? What color are you?
Okay. So you can see the rust and the blue-green paint combo.
I have white? I do have... It's called cold white.
That's looking
Okay,
good.
I'll worry about the white. Oh, in a while, because I'm going to have a lighter color anyway. Ooh, that's fancy.
Yeah. Looking good now.
I'm putting away the file in hopes I won't need it anymore. But I am going to need this. Specifically this one. I'm not using it as intended, but that's okay.
Oh, when do I ever use anything as intended?
I need to re-poke some holes I filled. And does that mean I'm just going to get enamel paint on this? Yes, it's fine. I have 2 of these. Okay, that one reopened. That one did not.
And see, with this oxidized color, I'm not actually going to the edges because I want those shiny edges to show because that's where things are going to wear and rub and look shiny and clean.
So if I ever try to engrave with this, it's just going to come off and be blue. Which is fine.
Yeah.
I, again, have 2 of these.
Alright. We can see that blue-green color with the rust color combo. That's a really nice color combo, I think. I think it's looking really good. That's exactly what I'm looking for.
That looks great.
Thank you. Bam. Looking old and dirty now.
Now I need the X-Acto knives.
And then we can see there's that oxidized compared to just the rusty silver. We haven't done the blues yet, the blue-green stuff yet. You can see the difference there. I have a
very nice set of X-Acto knives
that
I don't think are even produced anymore.
Oh, you mean like this one I have? This vintage, actually made of steel X-Acto knife?
I don't know where my phone is. I will show you later. But mine's like a whole set. Like I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different sizes, and they all fit in this nice little case. And it comes with a bunch of replacement blades and blade variations.
This one is
super
the
glue and a sharpening stone.
Yeah. This one here is the vastly inferior new aluminum ones that they make. Very terrible. Yeah. Very garbage. If you can, go ahead.
I was going to say mine has their own dedicated piece and everything. I think I actually have 2 layers of blades in the top.
Oh, yeah? I've got so many packs of blades laying all over.
Right now, and I don't want to send blades flying across the room in order to find out.
Yep. But yeah, if you're looking for an X-Acto knife, go online and don't buy a new one. Go look for someone who's getting rid of their old stuff. Go find a vintage one, and you can tell the weight immediately when you pick it up. It's like twice as heavy as the aluminum ones, and they're so much better. They hold onto the blades really, really well, and they just have a lot more authority. That weight is so nice when you're cutting things, just having that extra weight.
X-Acto knives are older, though.
Probably, ours are probably about as old. I think mine's from the 80s. So, I definitely have one from the 70s, but I lost it.
Has a date on it.
Yeah.
Nothing has a date on it.
No, they don't date their stuff.
Well.
Like
they are old.
Yeah.
They're so old the super glue doesn't have an expiration date.
Is it
And
so
I
old
bet
it
it's
just says
more important.
cyanoacrylate glue and that's
Yeah.
it?
Huh?
So is it so old it just says cyanoacrylate glue and that's it?
Yeah.
Good old
Whatever.
CA glue. That's the good stuff though. They don't make it like they used to. Alright. Now we're coming in with our blues and greens on our other one. Our blue-green-white combo, our cyan turquoise color. That oxidized brass color. Oxidized copper color, really. Now, on this one, I'm going to do it a little different than I did on the other one. We're going to see if it comes out different. I'm leaving those edges, and I'm just kind of heavy covering the rest of it. And then we're going to come back and stipple it off with the paper towel to get that rough look. We're going to see which one looks better. Because I'm curious. So we're going to do a little test.
Oh yeah, I never did see what those were. Okay. Where'd my instructions go? I lost them.
No. Definitely want to make sure you take this blue-green color and drive it into those recesses. Because you're going to want that in those deep places. That's where it's going to stay after it gets rubbed off.
They're propeller shafts.
Oh, the prop shafts, yeah.
I'm also going to have to paint the landing lights, but I'm going to need to get slightly transparent paint for that. So
Yep.
I'll probably do super watered down acrylic.
Yeah.
Almost dying over here. I think I'm just going to paint those.
Oh, don't die.
Almost falling on my face over here.
Alright. We're going to grab this and we're just going to kind of do this thing. Just kind of roughly scuff it up where we painted that blue-green. Just really kind of pull some of that paint back off and rub it a little bit. Really want to scuff it up and wear it out where we painted it. Okay, I think it looks better doing it the other way that we did here. So we're going to go to that. We're going to go back to that. There are definitely situations where doing it this way works better, but not for what we're doing today. We want to go back to our stippling method. Get that more random variation. Yeah, it's beating up the brush. This is a cheap brush. We already established. This is the Garbaggio brush.
Meow.
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 And the audience is
Will
now
I
very
get you
confused.
Copyright claimed if I start vocal stemming.
I don't know. Only if you vocal stem something that's a copyright. I don't think that's copyrighted. I think we're okay on that.
Well, yeah, but I was diverting from something else that probably was.
That's fair.
That's okay. No. Nope.
Oh, yeah, we can't do that one. That one might get me in trouble.
I don't hate you enough to get you copyright claimed.
Yeah. I'm glad.
Don't do anything to change that.
I'm not planning on it.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Oh, I know. It's your favorite thing to do.
I'm aware.
Okay. It's so weird to work, like, I'm used to just, like, pushing stuff back and leaning back in my chair and just painting. Just vibing out. I'm not used to, like, having to make sure I'm on camera while I'm doing it.
And since I'm not on camera, that is exactly what I get to do.
Yeah. I've
There's
got to
a
be out
hair
here.
stuck to my model.
Uh-oh. We don't want that.
Nope.
Okay. Keep going with this bluish, greenish color.
Yep.
And see, because we don't mix it super good, you get that random variation. Some light, some green, some blue. Some darker patches, some lighter patches. do that on purpose. We want that random variation. We want it to look natural. Okay, now we got this one all blue-greened and rusted. This thing's looking just gross. All right. We're gonna come in here. I'm gonna grab my sandpaper. I'm gonna clean up all this paint that we got where we don't want it.
I don't think I've ever heard somebody be so happy about their gun being rusty before.
Well, probably not, but, you know, pirate. My character mainly uses knives anyway, so the guns are just kind of a fun thing for him. Probably stole these off of somebody.
Did he now?
Well, I mean, okay, look. This might get me in trouble, but... So one of the props for my character is a debt collector. He's a pirate who's a debt collector, and if you don't pay your debts...
You're pulling out the ears?
I am. Yep.
Won't do that on stream.
Is that gonna get me in trouble?
I wouldn't.
I don't know.
Personally.
They might get me in trouble, but I kind of want to show them off too.
Fine.
I mean, yeah.
As your moderator, I'm suggesting it's not a good idea, but I'm also not going to stop you because I thrive in chaos.
All right, Twitch and YouTube, these are fake. These are not real. I have these silicone ears here that we have made look like severed ears by painting silicone mixed with paint on the back of them. They are actually made for piercing practice. And I have actual piercings in them as well. So like, that's the kind of stuff I normally do. My character uses knives because he's usually taking ears. The guns are just a side thing.
Ears specifically is a really interesting choice.
So there's a reason behind it. The legend is that pirates would carry earrings to help pay for funerals and or to show milestones that they've accomplished. So by taking away their ear, which has their piercings, I'm taking away, one, their right to a good funeral, and two, their milestones that they have accomplished.
Interesting.
Yep. And I'm taking the visible gold jewelry that they've got in their hoop rings or whatever else they've got.
Yep.
So I'm taking their money. Making sure I collect. Yep.
You know a lot about weird things.
I do. Yep. Yep. That's my life. Why do you know about that? Because I'm strange.
Because I'm strange.
Okay, so there's our pistoleros all weathered up. And we just need to do our little black wash, which we've got here in this jar. This is a mix of India ink and acrylic paint with water.
Ooh boy.
Oh yeah, this is the dark
Don't
stuff.
get that on your hands.
Oh god, no, it'll stain forever. I also have some Super Black India ink. Not a sponsor.
Like, last time I used India ink, I looked like Bendy from Bendy and the Ink Machine got to me for like a week.
Oh no. Yeah, I love India ink. This stuff is great. It's one of my favorite things to work with. It's very, very dark. It stains the shit out of everything. But it's fantastic. I use it so much. Water break.
I can't. I'm currently covered in paint.
That's fair. Okay. So, we've got our weathering. We've got our greens, our green blue. We've got our rusty, gross. And we took down all that shine that we added to those edges, right? So now what we're going to come back with this paint, or with this sandpaper. We're going to hit those edges again, bring those edges right back out. Down to that silver paint that we put in earlier. Boom, you can see it coming right out on those edges there. We're also going to hit some of this heavy green, where I put a little much. We're going to hit it with the sandpaper. Scrape some of that back off in a non-regular pattern. I don't want it to kind of look like I like scraped it in a particular way. Just gonna hit those edges, bring those highlights right back out.
Oh no. I got it on my face.
Uh-oh. Okay. Bringing out those edge highlights again. In those aware spots. See, we're just gonna come across it and hit it all like this. Just boom, coming across all the areas where we've put our weathering paint to bring those highlights right back out. That's why I painted the highlights first, because we're just coming through that paint to that silver that we put on before. You can do the weathering stuff and then come back with your edge highlights and do it that way if you want. Both ways work. I happen to like doing it this way. I think it looks a little more natural when you do it right. When you do it this way and you get it right. But that's just a personal preference. So you do it how you like. As long as you get the right end results. You know, you want to make sure you bring those highlights back out.
Yes.
But both ways are acceptable for doing that. All right. We got some paint on the wood here again. We'll just scrape that off with our fingernail like we were doing earlier. See, it just comes right off. No big deal. Comes right off. Boom. Bring that paint right off of that plastic because we didn't use a primer. If we had used a primer, this method would not work. But since we don't use primers, or since I did not use a primer for that, it works perfect. There we go. Boom. I'm gonna just go over this whole thing one more time. Okay, and on to the next one. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to hit my microphone there. Hit those edges, bring those highlights out. Boom.
Thank God for my clips.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good.
I don't have enough, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah. I feel you on that one.
My fingers are sticking together, which is probably going to become a problem.
Yep. Sounds like it will.
The pains of... I spilled it. Okay.
Uh-oh.
I caught it before it's really spilled. We're good.
Oof.
The pains of working with non-acrylics or non-watercolors.
Yeah.
You know what? At least I'm not using oil paints because I'm pretty sure oil paints would be way more toxic.
Oh, it'd be such a
Actually, no,
pain
they
too.
wouldn't be. This is.
Enamels are probably the most toxic. Well, yeah, you're not using like those ancient oil paints that are just like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not at the moment, at least.
No.
I'm normally better about not getting those on my hands. I am blue right now, though. I'm a smurf.
I'm blue. If I was green, I would die. Hey, we're gonna stop there so we don't get in trouble. We're gonna stop right there. That's as far as we can go.
And I must stop and wait like 3 hours for this to fully dry.
Oh yeah, you gotta wait for it to cure now.
I'm going to go fight with the sink. I shall return.
Okay. All right. So there's our weathering job done up. Now it's time to get into those washes. Okay. So we've got our little palette here still covered in wet paint. We're gonna just put that over there. Now, I've got a brush that I use specifically for my black washes. So let's get that one out. Where did you go? Did I already pull you out somewhere? Wash brush. probably. Oh, no, there it is. Okay. We've got the black wide boy. Sorry, our black wash brush. We've got our black wash here. Like I said before, this is India ink and acrylic paint mixed with water. You can see it's very gray. You can see the end result here is this kind of watery gray wash, and that's exactly what we want. We're not going to come in and we're going to start by just throwing this on here. Just going to coat this whole thing. Let it really get into those recesses. It's very wet. You can see most of this is going to come right back off as we get to the paper towel-y step. We're going to throw this on here. Let this start doing its thing. Get into those recesses. Get into those dark places. We may need to add some more acrylic paint to this wash. I haven't used it in quite a while, so that may be necessary. It looks like we are going to need to add some more acrylic to this. That's okay. We're going to find out here in just a second. We're going to test it. So, we do this, throw it on, we grab our paper towel, we just kind of dab, we dab, we dab. Alright, we just dab it. Nothing crazy. You don't want to pull all the paint back off, you just want to pull kind of that pooling paint off and let it sit in those recesses. It looks like we are going to want some more acrylic paint in here, so we're going to mix this up a little thicker. Good thing I have an absolute boatload of black. So, we're going to take some black. I'm going to just squirt some black in here. Bloop. Bloop. Couple little spurts of black. We're going to take our brush. We're going to get in here and mix that up. And just mix it up. Mix it up all good. Mix it right on up. Now, the cool things you can do with a black wash are things like this. The handle of this is painted with a black wash. And then I did the entire thing. I painted this all silver and then I black washed it with a heavy wash and I didn't pull it back off. So it like sat in all those foamy recesses and stuff. This was a very rough, quick, like 1-day build that I did before Viking weekend. It took me like 30 minutes. I really just kind of blasted through that one. That was just a side accessory. I had a spear and a shield, but I wanted a weapon. What's up, Prinny? How's it going, bro? How you doing? Howdy. We are currently mixing up a black wash to apply to these pistols that I have done a weathering job on so far. Not too bad, not too bad. That's good to hear, bro. Good to hear. So we've got these. We've been doing... These started out looking nice and clean, and now we've got this rusty paint on there, and we've got this like oxidized blue-green color for the brassy, coppery bits. And then we're going to come over with a big black wash and just make everything look dirty and grimy and gross. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate that. Just working on this, and in the background right now, unavailable, Hannery, our moderator, is working on an airplane model. A Catalina, I believe she said. How's that? Oh, that's much better. There we go. That's going to sit a lot better in there. Perfect. Okay. Had to add some more acrylic paint to this wash so that it would really get in there where I want it and sit there. Settle in all those recesses and cracks and crevices.
I am delighted to inform everybody that it sort of worked.
Yay.
I sort of got it off my hands.
That's good.
I had to use straight dish soap, not sponsored, not affiliated, but Ajax worked, sort of.
Hey. I usually go with Dawn or Ajax, so... No, not a sponsor. Dawn didn't do it?
Nope.
Damn.
And I think the paintbrush is unsavable, but that's to be expected.
Yeah. Now, I know if you're using spray paints, you can use olive oil. Actually, it will strip spray paint right off your hands. So you might give that a go. Oil, yeah, because I've used enamel spray paints. It might, because I use enamel spray paint and it comes right off.
The world may never know. I certainly will not be finding out today.
That's fair. Yeah,
because I am at a point where I unfortunately must stop, and I did not think about the fact that I wouldn't that I would get there this quickly.
that's fair. Yeah, sometimes it happens, and you're just kind of like, well, here we are. What now?
I did not have the foresight to plan more things to do for the stream.
Aw, that's okay.
But that's okay because I can stand here and clean up and then build a gingerbread house.
Yeah, there you go. All right, look at that with that wash applied compared to with no wash. We got wash on top, no wash on the bottom. Look at that difference. It just looks so much different, especially on the wood. Man, there we go. Look at that. Perfect. Exactly what we're going for. Just load it up on here. Load it up. Also, y'all are getting a great view of my desk today. And all the junk in the corner behind me. It's all art supplies and cosplay stuff, I promise. And like tools. There's like a miter box over there and stuff. You can kind of see it hanging out back there. It's all just my stuff for working on projects like this.
Hey, Prinny's in chat between the time that I left and came back.
Yeah, Prinny showed up. Popped in to say hello.
Hello.
Welcome, welcome. How is your day going, Mr. Prinny? How are you doing today?
I do not have enough room in this building for fish tanks and drying paint.
Just prepping your character for tomorrow's D&D. Very nice. You have room for everything in there. That sounds about right.
I figured it out, sort of.
Sort of.
Some of it has to stay on the desk, but it's okay.
Yeah, sometimes that's how it be.
I can return to at least a somewhat functional setup. Somewhat.
Somewhat functional.
Yes.
Okay. What kind of character are you doing for tomorrow, Mr. Pretty? Character's a cleric druid. Nice combo. Yeah, I support that. You don't see enough of that combo right there. Pretty much pure support. Hell yeah, dude. Somebody's got to do it. That's an important job.
Sure is.
It's like the person I go to Ren fairs with. She plays a druid. She's the only one with the healing spells. She's always complaining about it.
Aww.
She's like, we got a paladin here. Have to lay on. He doesn't even have lay on hands. Like, what the hell? What kind of paladin doesn't even use lay on hands? I mean, come on. What are we doing?
I'm gonna redact my background noise from stream.
Okay. That's alright. Group didn't have a tank or a healer, so you just decided to go super hard on healer. Hell yeah. Sometimes you gotta do that, because it's just like, well, this is what we need, so it may not be what I want, but I'll find a way to make it fun.
Okay.
Oop. Getting heavy with the wash, dripping it all over the desk. That's okay. It's fine. That's why I pulled my mouse mat out the way. off to the side. Yeah, I definitely support the cleric druid combo. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's a solid combo right there. Do you know what's the rest of your party looking like? 2 wizards, an artificer, a bard, and a rogue. Damn. All right. Yeah. Y'all are caster heavy. Got that ranged party.
On stream today, or?
Oh, there's always a delay on the stream. It's only set to an 8-second delay actually. But then there's an inherent delay from Streamlabs to Twitch that's always going to be there.
Right.
So.
Okay.
Last group was the same. Last group was the same, having heavy. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, I try to keep it with just a simple delay. Unless I'm doing something where I'm playing competitive, then I'll turn up the delay. There we go. Put that wash really deep in there. Really in there. Okay. Here we go. Really want this sitting deep in those recesses. Really getting in there. Making it dirty, dirty. Again, this is where I wish I had some browns and stuff. Like a sepia tone would be very nice. I could add a little red, would probably help.
Sepia?
Yes. I say sepia, not sepia. Because it is, in fact, pronounced sepia. That's right.
Is it actually?
Yes, it is. It's, in fact, sepia. That's what I was taught anyway, so that's what I'm going with.
I stand corrected, it is sepia. I hate that.
Yeah. One of the wizards said they're gonna go frontline eventually, but it won't be till like level 6. Yeah, dude. See, that's why I like to play a spell sword, because then it's like, well, I'm a caster, but I can still just hit the crap out of stuff and not worry about it. All right. We have definitely achieved the dirty, dingy old gun effect here. When compared to our not washed yet gun, we got washed on the top, not washed on the bottom. Definitely makes a huge difference.
Wow.
Cuts down on that shine, really brings out all that depth that we have in all the details. Makes it pop a lot more. Time to do this one.
They already look completely different from the start.
Oh yeah. And it's just, I mean, I didn't even have all the paint colors I wanted. You know, I'm still managing to get close enough to the look that I'm going for that it'll be okay.
I'm very impressed.
I really just like to show people I want to show people that you don't have to have fancy equipment. I'm using cheap ass brushes I'm pretty sure these are like dollar store brushes, okay? And I'm using golden acrylics, but you could just use any acrylic. I mean, these are $10 props, and I'm just turning them into looking better. They only have to look good from a distance, so it's fine. They're mostly for photographs and stuff anyway. Walking around, they're going to be tucked into my sash so far that you're only going to see like the handles and a little bit of the action section here. So these are not hero props. I'm not going to be on camera with the close-ups. You're going to be looking at me while you're walking down the laneway or talking to me in a booth or something.
You got some on your desk?
Yeah, I did. It's okay. Not a big deal. I'll clean it up in a second. I'm going to get more on there anyway, so. It smells like somebody's making cookies in my house. Or brownies.
I'm jealous.
Right? I hope it's brownies. It kind of smells like either brownies or chocolate chips. Chocolate chip cookies.
That's right. I was going to make a gingerbread house, wasn't I?
You sure were.
Because I got one default discount after Christmas.
Yeah. Dude, doesn't it sound great?
Technically crafting.
It is. It is still technically crafting.
Although
We're in
I'm
the...
covered in enamel paints, and I feel like handling food immediately after is probably not the right call.
Maybe. Maybe.
Do I actually have anything in this kit, or is it just icing? It's just icing in the gingerbread. That is disappointing.
Wow, not even any sprinkles or candies? Like, come on. What is that? Brother, ew. What's that, brother?
Hey, what's that, brother?
What's that?
Hey, maybe I'm not doing this right now. I'm gonna wait and go to the store and buy more decorations.
Get some sprinkles and stuff.
Okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why it was discounted.
Probably. I definitely...
Sir, that is a leaf. You can't eat that.
I definitely want to make these like crafting streams a more regular thing. I like doing this stuff. And especially right now, it's Ren Fair season, so I'm making stuff a lot coming up for this year. I usually go to one called Scarborough Fair in Waxahachie, Texas. But this year, instead of going to Scarborough, my Ren Fair buddy and I, we decided we want to go to Sherwood Forest Fair this year, which we've never made it down to. It's down in the Austin area, and it's, you know, I've never been, so I don't know anything about it. But it seems cool, so we're gonna go check it out. A lot of the vendors at Fair Champions said it was a really fun place to go, so said if we liked FOC, we would like Sherwood, so that's where we're gonna check it out. We do like FOC. That's what I'm making these props for, the Fair of Champions. It's in the title. FOC. Not affiliated, not sponsored, but I went I went this past weekend and I had a lot of fun. Gonna go back again.
Actually, this past weekend?
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
I got back on Monday.
It was right before I made my plans.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 'Cause when I got back was the day you made your plans.
That's very true.
Yep.
Are we gonna do a stream when I'm there?
If you want.
Possibly.
Okay.
I think it would be fun. Could be fun.
Yeah. I don't know what we'd stream, but we can do something.
Do like a crafting thing and just set me wild.
Yeah. Hit up the just chatting.
Just chatting.
Just hang out.
Yeah. You could do something.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. There's definitely options. I wouldn't mind doing something. If you're
We
interested.
shall see. It's a little too soon to try to plan that.
Yep. It is.
Also, this is me formally leaking to chat and everyone that I'm going to be there in March.
Yep.
So I actually haven't told more than like 3 people.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, now the whole world knows. The 3 people who watch my streams know.
And then the people who play it as background noise.
Yeah. I haven't had very many of those lately, so we'll see if this stream pops off differently. It might, honestly, because I've not...
It's because I've been busy again.
Yeah. Be interesting to see what happens with this stream, with the crafting stream.
Yeah. Clearly it's going to have a lot of viewers because I'm here.
I mean, yeah. When you're here, they tend to get a lot of views.
Yeah. It's just because I'm so great. Totally.
I mean, for sure.
Well, yeah. You should just have me here all the time then. No.
I mean, I tried to.
Yeah.
But work
I'm a
schedules
very
get in the
busy
way.
person, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay. That's life. I do want to have people around more
Head
often.
of your own channel.
Huh?
So plus you're the head of your own channel, not me.
Yeah. I do like to have my friends around, though, when I can.
Yes.
Because
It's
y'all add to
definitely
it.
more fun.
Yeah, for sure. You add to the whole environment of the thing.
It'd be easier for me if it was like a come and go situation.
I mean, it can be.
That's true.
You don't have to stick around the whole time.
That's
You can
true.
pop in and out whenever you feel like.
See, you're giving me way too much power to say stupid stuff, though, and then immediately leave.
Yep. Yep. That's definitely happening.
Like, share, and subscribe. And follow. Click that button.
Definitely.
Subscribe to the Wicked Bird on twitch.tv. And on YouTube.
Hey.
You don't have any other social medias yet, do you?
Not that are active for this, no. I just do the Twitch and YouTubes. Hit the Discord link down in the thing down below. Join the Discord. Come join the Nightwing Company. Come talk to us. Hang out.
I feel like that's copyrighted.
Oh, it's not. I made sure it wasn't.
Okay.
Yeah. KWC is not copyrighted. It's not Nightwing with an N. It's Nightwing with a K. Knight is in Knights of the Round Table.
Yes.
KNIGHT Wing Company.
Knight.
Knightwing Company.
Knights.
Yes, that is the name of my little follower group. That's what I'm calling y'all, the Nightwing Company. All right, so there's our dirty old weathered gun. Nice and easy.
Yippee.
Really not that complicated. It just takes some time to mix up the paints and like apply everything, but the process itself really isn't too bad. You just kind of got to take your time with it.
How are you weathering the wood?
I'm not. I just washed everything.
Hmm.
You can see how it looks like kind of a speckled after the wash is applied. It almost has like it almost looks like a tiger maple kind of look, but not as intense.
Kinda.
Yeah. God, my hand is just black now.
Yep, and it probably will be.
That's all right. It'll come off. It's just acrylics.
Did you get anything on the bracelets?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I pushed this one back, and then this one's leather, so even if I did, it wouldn't be a really big deal. This one actually, I've been trying to weather it. I bought it brand new, and I specifically bought the one that was beat up looking, and then I like threw it on the ground and rubbed it into the concrete, and then I brought it back inside, and I took a wet paper towel and rubbed it down with that, and then I rubbed oil onto it, and then I washed my hands a bunch while wearing it. So now it's getting like a natural kind of coloration to it. And it's starting to look like just like an old bracelet. That was the idea. I want to do something to it. I want to like put some I have some leather stamps out in my shed I need to go get, and I want to do like some design work on it, some tooling.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I might do that for next week's Saturday stream. Actually, next week Saturday I will be. Yeah, next week Saturday I'll be here. I could do.
Will you?
Yeah, it's February 1st and 2nd is Pirate Weekend. 2 weeks.
And then
High
you'll be
Seas
gone for a little
Adventure.
bit of that at the beginning of March as well.
I will. I'll be gone for the first week of March unless we do.
Is it actually the first week of March?
Oh, it's the 3rd to 7th. It's the first full week of March.
It is the first week of March.
Yeah. Yep, sure is. And now it smells even more like brownies or chocolate cake in my house.
I am so jealous, it's not even funny.
I hope I get to have some. That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah. Hey,
I
I go
want some
back
of
to
that.
work next week finally, so I'll actually have money again.
Hey, nice. Hell yeah. Excuse me.
That's why I don't like moving between stores.
Yeah,
Because it sucks to get back on the schedule.
every time.
It's okay though, I've still got money left.
Yeah, you're not hurting for it. It just.
Meaning I'm probably gonna have to go buy chocolate cake later.
Of course. It smells like fudge cake or like fudge brownies,
Yum.
right? It smells amazing. I hope I'm right. And I hope I get some. I could go for some of that right now. It'd be good.
I'm waiting for a shipment of baked goods from my family because I was promised one.
Hey. Okay. Now we can kind of see a little bit better how the paint interacts with those textures. It really makes everything look weathered and old and gross. Can I get some good lighting on there? There we go. You see how it kind of affects that wood texture, makes it look a little more realistic.
Gotcha.
And then, yeah, you can see it there especially. Where I like, when you scuff it up with the sandpaper, you want to keep one direction with it, so you kind of get that grain pattern. And then when you do the wash, it'll just barely fill in that grain that you've created. And then because I did that like stippling pattern, I have some darker patches and some lighter patches, making it uneven. Makes it look a little more realistic. Yeah. And I could go like way deeper with that. I just wanted to do just a basic thing. I didn't really care about making it look crazy. Because a lot of guns of this era, the handles, like the woodwork would have actually been like highly polished and well worked. They actually took a lot of time to make them look really, really nice. So I wanted it to kind of look like those where it's like really, it used to be nice, but now it's just old and gross and dingy.
Yeah.
Been hanging around a while. Maybe I took it off of some guy who was already dead in the water for a bit, you know?
Yeah.
I do also, let me grab something real quick. Stepping away.
Wow, I'm saying so many words and I'm being so entertaining towards chat right now. I totally know what's going on, and I definitely only have to stall for like another 20 seconds.
Okay, I'm back.
And not any longer.
I'm back. We're back. All right, everybody.
See? I was right.
Yep. Hey, there's our wash. So, I carry trinkets to the fair. That it's a pretty common thing for people to carry trinkets and give them away to people. My trinkets are these.
I feel like
where's that?
going to Ren fairs is just like going to a glorified Girl Scout meeting.
I mean, it's like any other nerd gathering, you know, pretty much.
No, I stand by the Girl Scout meeting because
Okay.
you swap things and do stuff.
That's fair. So these are my trinkets. They're a glass jar, and inside that glass jar is some dirt. A jar of dirt, you know, a reference to the Pirates of the Caribbean. I got a jar of dirt. Yeah, that one. Inside the jar is a smaller jar, and that jar either contains some fake blood, like some paint that I mixed up that looks like fake blood, or a bloody fake tooth. Which is, again, a reference to the fact that the jar happens to have Davy Jones's heart in it, but instead of having a heart, it has a piece of someone else in it. And then there's 2 coins, so you can pay the ferryman when you eventually die, because everybody will at some point. And these are the trinkets I give out to people at the fair. I even have one on my hat, which actually I have right behind me, so I can show it off. This is my fancy hat. There's my trinket on the hat there. Like my string of beads, which are actual ram's horn shells from my aquariums. This hat was made by a lady here in Texas. She makes these really awesome hats. It's super fancy. Big old hat. This is my hat. I'm one of the few people who wears a red hat. Most people wear black or brown or whatever, but no, I have a fucking bright ass red hat. Because why not? I also wear a yellow coat for my pirate costume. In fact, if you join our Discord,
A very pirate costume.
it's what?
I said it's a very pirate costume.
Oh yeah. See, historically, pirates would have actually worn a mixture of things. They, you know, the classic image we have of the dirty brown, red, black pirate isn't necessarily correct. A lot of them historically would have worn very fancy clothes that they were stolen from somebody, and they would throw them all into a chest, right? And especially if you were like a lower guy in the group. And so you'd go to that chest when you go to shore, and you just grab stuff out that you want to wear. So you might put on some stuff from all over the world, and some of it will be really nice, and some of it will be really gross, and just like a mix of different qualities of materials and things. And that is exactly what my character looks like. My coat is based on an Ottoman style. My tunic is based on Southeast Asian style. My pants are German. My coat, my sash is Ottoman, and my hat is French. So like, and my boots are just kind of generic Middle Europe. So I can kind of act as though I'm from anywhere. So I have like stuff stolen from all over the place is like kind of my character. And in general, especially since I'm a debt collector, it's stuff that I took from people to pay their debts. You know, some valuable items, clothing, things like that. Their ears, these guns, stuff like that. So I have like a big mix of stuff, and most of it is either red, black, yellow, or like cyan or like magenta. It's like super bright colors, except for the black and red. But yeah, I wanted to like base it on a historical pirate and what the kind of stuff that they would have actually worn back in the day, instead of just being your kind of boring all black, little bit of red, brown pirate, which can look good, but like, let's be real, the characters in the Pirates of the Caribbean weren't as fancy as they could have been. If you're going to use anybody from that movie for inspiration, you should look at all the different pirates that are in the like Pirate Council, especially the ones that are from the non-Caribbean areas. Their costumes are actually better than the Caribbean pirates are in those movies, which I find amusing. But that's definitely something, you know, if you're into that, if you're into costuming and stuff, that's something to be aware of. Man, I'm really happy with the way these came out. Holy shit, these look great. They look better on camera, I think, than in person, but they look good. I'm happy. Now I just gotta, I'll take these and clear coat them. I gotta go get some clear coat, and then we'll clear coat them, and they'll be done. So I'm gonna set these to the side.
Clear coat at home.
Oh, that's no good.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's supposed to snow on Tuesday.
Oh, nice. Okay, we're gonna set those guns to the side. The next thing I want to work on, I'm gonna move this out the way. Next thing I want to work on is this, actually. This bad boy needs some weathering done to it. It looks way too shiny and new. There's metal on this. This is actually a mixing bowl that I hammered out to make a shield boss out of. And then I just nailed it to a round of wood. And I poorly cut out the center. It's not even. Microphone's in the way. It's a little bit uneven, the hole. It's not quite centered. As you can see, this side needs to be cut out a little more. That's fine. It works. I can get my hand in there. But I need to make this thing look a little bit dirtier. And it needs to be a little more beat up. So we're just going to actually beat it up. Legitimate way to weather stuff sometimes is to just actually do the thing. So we're going to start by doing stuff like this and just aggressively hit the edge and put a notch in it. And we're going to gouge it a little bit with this file used improperly. Yep, that's right. We're going to put some big gouges in it like this. Just going to ruin these tools on this thing.
Stab, stab, stab.
Yep. So we're going to file out a big old gash in here. Right? So it's got some depth to it. We're going to take, I've got a knife over here. Let's just kind of put some scores in it. So it's maybe caught some blades in a few spots. All right. Beat it up a little bit. You know, when we're on sets and we need to make something look weathered, you just beat it up. You want it to look beat up? Beat it up. Don't be nice to it. Trash it. Ruin it. Don't worry about it. It's okay to do that. You know, it's okay to just put some big old gouges and stuff in it. That's fine. Totally normal. I even have... We're going to do something. We're going to get really violent here in a second. Okay. Because I have this. And we're going to beat the crap out of this thing with it. Like that. I'm going to mute my mic so y'all don't have to listen to that because that's really loud. All right, there we go. Now it's actually beat up. How convenient. We don't need to go
Looks
too far
nice.
with it. Just a little bit. Put that away. Oh, I think I have a hammer in here somewhere. Oh, where's my hammer? I don't have a hammer, but I do have this old dull chisel. Maybe it's caught a few spear tips. Kind of left some gouges in it like that. Right? Okay. So now we got some scrapes, some gouges, some gashes in there. And we're then going to take this gross old brush and our black wash. Woo! We got black wash everywhere already. All right. Convenient.
Fun.
And we're just gonna just kind of rub it in there. We're gonna take and dip in here and just kind of throw some on here. Gonna just kind of throw it on there. On the bowl where we've got a lot of denting in the edges in here. Oh, that's a gross sound. I do not like that sound. Ugh, scratchy and gross. Do not like that. All right. We're just gonna be rough about it. Whoop. Okay. Yep. Probably shouldn't have used the wash bottle to support the other side. That's fine. Just come in and stipple around.
Happy accidents.
Exactly. It's fine. This side's a little dirtier. Okay. No big deal. All right. And then we're going to grab paper towel. And we're just going to kind of dab some of that up a little bit. Just dab it up. Dab it up. Dab it up. Dip, dab, dab. Dab, dab, dab. Make that look a little dirtier, a little grosser. And you can even, you can do this if you really want. You can actually take your wash. Woo! You can take your wash, you can put it straight on the paper towel and just kind of blop, 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 blop. Just blot that all around. All right? We just want to leave some, not a ton, just a little. Gonna throw some more on here. Oh no, we dripped it on the bowl. No big deal. That's fine. So you just kind of make it gross. Make it gross. Make it all uneven. You don't want it to be perfect. You don't want it to be clean and tidy. This is an adventurer's shield. They've been using it for a long time. Homie's a ranger. He hasn't had time to stop and clean his crap. Are you kidding me? We don't have time for that. We got hobbits to save. Because they're taking them to Isengard, and we gotta go stop them. Yep. Don't have time for cleaning equipment. We gotta run. So we just make it all dirty and gross.
Yep.
Make it beat up. I wish I had browns again. This would be a great time for a sepia. I hate it too, don't worry. It's gross. It's a gross word, but it's the right word.
It's the right pronunciation of a not gross word.
Yeah.
But the pronunciation is gross.
Exactly. And so we're stippling, and then we just wipe. You just do a little wipe action here. And look at that. Just brings that. Okay, it actually doesn't show as well on camera as it does in person. Some things do, some things don't. That's just how it goes. Now this whole thing is just dirty and dingy and gross. Perfect. This thing we'd already done the painting on before, so I wasn't able to show you all that process. But
I remember that. I got to see that process, sort of. I'm pretty sure I was in the car for most of it.
I think you were, but I did show you some of it. So now it's toned that silvery down a lot. Makes it look dirtier and grosser. Exactly what we want.
I just remember him complaining about the lines.
Yeah, the line work on that was a pain. I didn't use any tape or anything to paint that. I just did it all by hand with line work. Oh, okay, my hands are filthy.
What's the next project?
The next project is... Let's see. What do I have next? What do we have next? I could paint part of my book, maybe. I'm still iffy on that one.
Yeah.
What else do we have to work on? Most of my other stuff is actually already like weathered or naturally worn. Like my leather goods, I just wore them to make them look weathered. My hat doesn't need a weathering job. It's already got its wear on it. My guns are done. My ears are done. My axe is done. Spear is done. Shield is now done. Until I get leather to wrap the edge of that. I don't have any fur projects to work on. Oh, I do actually. I do have a fur project to work on. I have one fur I need to attach to something. Make sure this is all cleaned up before. We don't want any paints getting onto this beautiful white fur. Make sure we clean up all of this.
Happen.
Oh, it probably will, but that's why I'm gonna take the precautions to clean up beforehand.
I believe in you somewhat.
Somewhat. Well, I'll take somewhat. That's better than 0. You're telling me there's a percentage. We'll take a percentage.
So that we can't see the screen.
I'm just trying to open the Streamlabs app. That's all it is. You're not looking at anything. It's just Streamlabs. That's it. I was just trying to get the app to reload.
By the way, you've got 27 more minutes of my presence, possibly closer to 22.
Okay.
My beautiful presence.
I appreciate it. I'm sure the audience does too, having someone else around and not just me yapping for 3 hours. Okay. We've got our paint palette. This we're just going to set off to the side. It's still got a lot of wet paint on it. Ooh, I used way less paint than I thought I would need. That's okay. We will set this off to the side. Over there. That's a bad place to put it. I'll set it up here. That can dry before I do anything else with it. Don't want to get that everywhere. Oops. Go. Got one of our water. This turned like just the worst color. Looking like blue milk that's gone off.
Lovely.
Oh yeah. Clean this up a little bit. I'm not actually cleaning this one like super good because this is just my stippling brush for this exact purpose anyway. Yeah, I'm doing this badly. I don't care. I'm roughing it up because it's a rough brush. It's fine. These are the cheap ones, I promise. We don't need to take care of these properly. I'm not taking the time for that. Okay, paint cup. I'm covered in paint. Okay, move this out the way. Okay. My hands are gross. Let me do this. We're going to take a paper towel. Take some of our clean water. Get this paper towel wet. I'm going to use it like a wet wipe. Just wipe my hands off. As much as possible. Anyway. It's going to take a lot of that off, actually. Surprisingly enough. It really doesn't take that much to clean this stuff right back off. Just a wet paper towel and some scrubbing. I wish I actually did have some wet wipes. That would actually be... I do, actually. I have some wet wipes. Hang on.
I feel like you're overcomplicating this.
Well, I wasn't sure I had any, so... Like, I'll just use this because I'm not going to go wash my hands right now and walk away from the stream and leave you to entertain them.
I mean, you can.
I can, but then I'll get ambushed on the way to washing my hands and have to talk for 20 minutes.
No, you can just say you're halfway through streaming.
I mean, yeah, but easier to just not worry about it because the way they are.
I see how it
sometimes.
is. You don't want me giving chat any secret messages that you don't know about. Fine, I get it.
This is when I wish I was sponsored, because this would be a perfect moment for a coupon code to come in.
I can't even make the joke I want to.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Because you're not sponsored, not affiliated.
Yep, I am. You can't even subscribe
As
to me
you
on
should
Twitch.
be with the company I was going to reference.
Oh, okay. Why did Streamlabs app just close on my phone? I was looking at it just
Because
closed.
you're talking about sponsors and it's allergic to them.
It's allergic to sponsors. It's upset that I'm not paying for better services, I guess. Okay.
Probably.
Cleaned all that off. My hands are still a little gray, but
Ow.
that's better. Let's grab one of these non-sponsor branded wet wipes.
Ow.
I'm not going to show off the brand name because
Do not show off the brand name.
Well, that's why I said I'm not going to, because they're not paying me.
Behave.
They're not paying me. They don't get to see it. They pay me, I'll show it, but nope.
If they pay you.
Yeah. Pay me money, I'll show off your products.
I have good news. My emotional support Corridora for my emotional support Corridora for my Corridora worked as an emotional support.
Oh, that's good. I don't think the name is Twitch appropriate, though.
He looks like a hot dog.
He does look like a hot dog. Little hot dog boy.
Little hot dog boy.
Yep.
I still need two names for the two of the autosyncless.
Do you?
Yeah. And one of the mystery snails. Hi, Crane.
I thought you named the autos vacuum and cleaner.
I have 4 autos.
Oh, that's right. You got 2 more. I forgot.
How dare you not know what's in my fish tank?
Yeah. Okay. Clean. Clean boy. Now it's time to get the furs. One moment.
Yes, I get to entertain chat as he walks away. And he didn't take his headphones off. That's fine. Subscribe. Do it.
I did
You
not
know
take
you
my
want
headphones
to.
off. I need to go to the other side of the room and grab something from a box. I'll be back in just a moment. Headphones do have to come off for this one.
I am the most entertaining person in the world. Clearly, as you all can tell. And, see, I'm normally better at improv than I am right now. But it's fine. So I'm just gonna keep talking. But yeah, subscribe. And I personally think that he's gonna get something on the fur. Because he didn't do a great job of cleaning the table, at least to my knowledge. But that's fine. Also, my fish say hi to chat. I'm running out of things to say. He needs to hurry up and come back.
Alright, we're back.
I've been saved. Ow.
Okay, so this here is an actual rabbit pelt, which I got at the fair. Now, this one here, the guy I bought it from has no middleman. He collects the pelts and processes them. This is a beautiful... It's very soft. Oh my god, it's so soft. Absolutely beautiful rabbit fur. Quite well prepared. It's much nicer than the other one that I have. I'm gonna be honest, I have 2 rabbit pelts and this one is way better. And what we're gonna do, I have this item here, which to y'all is just a big chunk of fake fur. This is the fake stuff. But what we're going to do, this is a half cape that I wear with several of my costumes. What we're going to do is we're going to take the rabbit pelt here. We're going to run the rabbit pelt across the shoulder like so. so that it kind of hangs out. I was thinking about doing this way across the shoulder, but what happens is this part sits like this across my back. So if I put the fur here, it'll do like weird things with it, the way it stretches. But if I take the fur and put it this way, wrapped over the edge of the half cape, then it'll sit a lot more naturally. And it should give me the dimensions that I'm looking for. And what I'll do is I'll tack a little bit right here for this flap. That's from one of the front paws, I think. And then we'll leave this side loose so that it can hang and have some movement. So, this is going to be a giant pain to do while I'm streaming. No, I said this is fake fur. And this edge is just double-sided tape. It's literally it. Just some really good double-sided tape. And then every now and then I put a little bit of super glue. Just a little bit of super glue to make sure that it stayed down. And it has lasted for like 3 years now. Or 2 years? Yeah, 2 full seasons of the fair.
That is impressive.
Yeah. And it's literally just that, holding it together. And then what I did afterwards, I took right here and right here are actually 2 tacks of some cordage, some waxed cotton cordage that I ran completely through and tied over and then pulled all the fur so that you can't find it anymore. And it's like worked its way into the material. So you literally cannot see it no matter what I do, unless I like were to rip all this. And then it's also super glued where those tacks are. So that way it'll basically never come undone. So that's been holding up. And this is just some thick waxed cotton cordage that I'm holding this strap onto. This is also just folded over. And this cord is running through this loop. And then that has just been super glued. And that's it. It's literally just super glue holding it together and tying it. And it has held up considerably well. This side is also just tied on with 3 tacks of waxed cotton cordage here on the ends and then one in the middle. And that has also held up extremely well. So, we're going to... where is my waxed cotton cordage? I now have a thinner version of the waxed cotton cord that I use. So this is waxed cotton thread as opposed to cordage. I've got my X-Acto knife. I've got...
Still cord.
It is still cordage, but this is technically... Because it's like 1/3 the width of the other stuff, they call it thread. Even though it's not really a thread. It is in fact a woven like thin cordage.
Judging it, not you, but it.
Yeah. It's good though. It gets the job done. This stuff's inexpensive.
Yeah.
This was 25 yards of it for $1.50. Super cheap. That's why I like to use it. It's really, really cheap. And all of my furs that I have a fur cape. I have this half cape. I have a couple mantles, and then I have like some actual furs, and I also have a actual foxtail. Oh, you can't see that. Okay, I have an actual foxtail as well, and everything is held together with waxed cotton cordage, all of it, and it has lasted for a considerable amount of time. It holds up to the abuse. This is what our ancestors used to tie things together, so it's what I'm going to use. I don't have sinew, but I have waxed cotton cordage, so I use that. Works very well. So, what we're going to do, we're going to take our furs, we're going to take this beautiful fur, we're going to lay this down on the desk. Then we're going to drop the cape on the ground, and then we're going to take this, and we're going to set it right about here. That's where I want it to be, right there. And then we're going to roll that over. And basically all I'm going to do is take right here, and I'm going to run some cordage through to this side, and then I'm just going to tie it off. Well, I'll probably loop it through this side and come back around to here, and then we'll tie it off on this side, and then I'll tie it off up here and down here at the end. So we'll have 4 tacks of cordage holding it in place, and then we'll take this little tab and we'll do the same thing with that. So I need to grab my little cosplay repair kit. And this here is really convenient. This has a seam ripper and some scissors and a ton of brass safety pins, some D-rings and some clips, tweezers, a penannular brooch, Extra X-Acto blades, because my X-Acto knife goes in here when I go out to the fair. Hair ties. Locking forceps. And an awl and seam ripper combo. And one single googly eye for some reason. I don't know why that's in here.
On somebody's forehead.
I probably will. See if I can find whoever gave me this pen or this clip and then do it to them. I need to figure out who gave me this because the URL is currently broken on that. So I need to figure out what it's supposed to link to. I will ask them when I go see them. I think I know who did it, so I need to find out. Yeah, I'll googly eyes them back. That's what I'll do to get them back. Okay, so we want to take this. I'm going to use my Sharpie to mark a couple points on this skin. Just going to put a point right there. We're going to put a mark right there. We're going to put a mark. We're going to put 2 marks on this side. We're going to go one here and one there. Then we're going to come over here and we're going to put a mark right there and right there. Okay. Actually, those are too close together. We need 2 knuckles of spacing. So there. Not that one. These 2. Okay. So we have these 2 points. We have these 2 points up here, and we have these 2 points. These 2 are just going to be looped over, and it'll be an easy job on those. These 2 are going to be a little more complicated. So the next thing that we're going to do, we're going to take our... We're not going to use the X-Acto knife. We're actually going to use the awl as our punch for this leather today. I do not have a leather punch. I do not have a hole punch. But I do have this needle awl, which is very, very, very sharp. And I can just pop right through. Boom. Nice and easy. Poke a hole. Do the same thing here. Bam. Hole through. Come over here, the next one. Bam. Right on through. Over here. Boom. These last 2. 1 and 2. Alright. And then we're going to take our chainsaw file. Okay. And we're going to use that to ream out those holes that we just made. And to spread them a little bit larger so that our cotton cordage goes through easily. Now, that's going to be, we're going to have to work it a little bit. It's going to work that hole open for us so that we can actually run the cordage through. Because, again, I don't have a punch. So we're just going to stretch that out like that. We'll do the same thing here. Already got the hole. Run this through. Boom. Okay. Ow. Stab myself in the thumb. That's not required. Definitely don't recommend doing that. Be careful. Okay. Go to the next one. Boom. I recommend using the appropriate tools for the job. I don't have them. So we're going to make do. What we do have. You know, sometimes that's how it goes. Sometimes you don't have what you need. You just got to use what you got.
Exactly. As long as you can make it work, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. As long as you can make it work. And as long as it is going to hold up for what you're doing. That's really the biggest thing is like the stuff that I do, I have a lot of experience doing it, so I know that it'll last. But, you know, it's definitely something you should be concerned about. Is like making sure that it's durable enough for what you're doing with it. Okay. Now, we're going to take and we're going to lay this on here. Okay. We're not measuring anything, you've noticed. I didn't measure nothing. I just laid it on there. And we're going to go, all right, these holes are here. So we're going to mark a spot right there on that to pop a hole. And then we've got on this side, it's approximately here. So we're going to mark a hole right there. This is just approximates. We're going to fold this over. Where does it sit? Right about there. Perfect. Mark it. This one, same thing. Fold it over. Where does it sit? Right about there. Perfect. Mark it. Boom. Done. You don't need to measure things. You don't need to measure things. You can just use things like that. Like in this case, I'm technically measuring it, but I'm just marking off of, like, where does it sit here? Fold it over. Okay. Mark it. Done. It's really not complicated. This is how I make a lot of stuff. I made, in fact, can I grab it right now? Maybe 1 second.
I will gently interject and say that it is my time to depart the stream.
Goodbye.
I'll wait until he comes back. Because I am saying so many words and being so very entertaining right now. And I've definitely contributed massively to this entire stream. And anybody who says otherwise is so clearly wrong, and I'm definitely not being sarcastic at all. Totally.
Okay, well, it seems that I can't find the flask pouch that I made. I heard you say right before I left that you were about to depart.
Yes.
All right. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate it every time. You're welcome. You're welcome anytime. Always glad to have you around. Chat, say goodbye to Hannery. Hannery Heatwave.
Goodbye, chat. I will see y'all later, and I will talk to you later, Bird.
Okay.
Have a great rest of the stream. Don't forget to follow, like, share, send it to your friends, press all the buttons, boost his work. He's doing great. Okay. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye. Okay. That was a wonderful moderator, Henry. She's been a wonderful person. Helped me out with these streams and stuff. Usually in the background, y'all don't get to see her or hear from her, but she's taking care of y'all and me, making sure everything goes smoothly. All right. Definitely vital to the way this stream runs and having everything go smoothly. Definitely vital. Glad to have her around. I probably should have put my cutting mat down, but I'm not concerned about it. This is a very cheap desk. All right, so we're going to pop a hole through this. We've just made a little slit right here where our X was. Okay, so just right there. We're going to come to the next one here. We're going to do the same thing. Just make a nice little slit. This is a very sharp X-Acto knife. I just changed it recently. Haven't used it very much. All right, so we got a nice slit there. Come over to the next one. Pop a nice little slit in here. Boom. All right, I'm going to have to replace this blade by the time we're done. This stuff really dulls out your blades quick, so just so you're aware, if you're using the backing material for this fake fur really dulls out your knives quick. Or your cutting blades, whatever you're using. Don't use the good scissors, but also use the good scissors. Use the good scissors that are on their way out, you know? Because you don't want to mess up your good cutting implements. Or I guess if you're using the, use replaceable blades or whatever, so that way you can keep it nice and clean cut on everything. I use these scissors. They are, what are they? They're Fiskars. Not a sponsor, but they're inexpensive and they're really good. So if you need something, use those. Or try to find something like that. Not a sponsor. They're not a sponsor. Definitely not. But I've been using their products my whole life, so got a lot of respect for them. Are they as good as they used to be? No. They're not. Do they get the job done? They sure as hell do. So that's the important part. That's the part to worry about. Okay, so now we've got our 4 slits in there. We've got our holes in our furs. Okay, so we're going to grab our fur. This is the part that gets a little bit fiddly. Okay, but this is the fun part for me. So now we're going to take our cotton cordage. We're going to grab... So the way I count it is we've got like 1 space across the card. I measured in cards. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and we're going to go for a 4th. There's 4 widths of the card that it is on. That's going to be our string that we use for each one. So we're going to do that once. And then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to cut that. Boom. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, you can get away with 3. But I'm doing 4, so that way I've got the extra. I don't have to worry about it. Boom. Because I don't want to be... When you're working with furs, it's a pain in the ass with all the fur in the way, right? So, I try to make it work where I can. I try to make everything as easy on myself as I possibly can. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 cordages. Okay, we'll set these 3 to the side. We've got this one here. We're then going to take our tweezers. These are the kind that open when you squeeze them. I really like these. I highly recommend getting some. I've got these. I've got some bigger ones, right? I highly recommend finding some like this that open when you squeeze them. So that way you don't have to sit there and like, ew, while you're trying to fiddle with stuff. Very, very useful. I also have those locking forceps, which I use a lot. But I like these because they're faster to use. Now, if you happen to be a bit more efficient with the forceps, then you go ahead. Now what we're going to do, we're going to take, you saw how I lined that up. This is an angled one. So I'm going to go along that angle. I'm going to put my cordage in there. And these are very, very sharp. So I'm going to make sure that that cordage, the tip of that cordage is basically resting on the point of the tweezers. So that way, if it does try to come off, it's going to push into that point and just going to push it through. And then what we're going to do, we're going to take our furs here. We've got our hole. We're going to feel around for it on the back side here. And we're just going to press through those furs with that needle and that cordage. And you see it didn't work through that time. That's okay. I'm actually going to flashbang everybody. It's going to be a little bit brighter here so I can see what I'm doing. All right, so I'm going to take these tweezers, place them like this, like so. So we got that cordage sitting the way I want. I'm going to find that point there. And I'm going to press them through. Okay, and there's that cordage. Boom, got some furs with it. That's okay. So we're going to use these tweezers to pull that bit and pull those furs away and pull that cordage through just a bit. We're going to pull about one length of the card through so that it's got a little bit hanging out that side and most of it's still on this side. Now we're going to grab the other end. Get that hair off of there. I usually work with fake furs, but I've recently started upgrading to real furs because I found that they're actually fairly affordable. And especially if you get them from the source. Don't buy the cheap ones at like Hobby Lobby. Go to like an actual processing facility. Or if you happen to be lucky like me and find a guy at the fair who's like, I don't have a middleman. I buy them either from the hunters or I hunt it myself. And you can get the higher quality stuff like this. Now this one was actually repurposed. It had been stapled to something at one point, and they removed it, and we're selling it in the discount bin. So I got it for even cheaper than it was supposed to be. Got $5 off because it was in the discount bin because it was repurposed. But the little staple marks on the edges do not bother me at all, not even a little bit. This thing's still in great condition. You can't tell from this side at all that it's been used for anything. So, does not bother me even a little bit. Okay, now, with these two, we're going to do those a little differently, the way those are going to work. We're going to just stick one side of the cordage through, and we're actually going to have it, because it's going to be looped over, and through here, actually, we'll get to that in a second. I'll show you how that's going to work. It's going to be a little more complicated. But it should allow it to flex and move the way that I want it to. Okay, so I've set up my needle with a little bit of thread on the front side of that needle, but so that it's pressing up against it, right? And then I'm going to come through. I'm going to press it through where that hole is. We're going to just push it through. Push it through. Okay, we got to expand that hole a little bit, I guess. Okay, that didn't, see, it pushed it on down. Didn't quite get it lined up just right. It's okay. We're taking our time with this. There we go. Lined up right again. Boom. On the hole. In the hole. And there's the end of that cordage. Boom. Then we're just going to leave that like that. And take our next cordage. Yeah, flashbang. For sure with the flashbang. Sorry, but it makes it easier for me to see what I'm doing too. So I needed to do that. Even though I like the light level dim and nice and just kind of vibey, sometimes you need more light. In this case, I needed more light. Do what you gotta do. Exactly. I actually have a really nice, fluorescent. Oh man, I have a fluorescent one that I can use as well. It's branded. It's one that's really popular with quilters and stuff. I'm not gonna say the brand because they don't pay me, and they're too expensive for me to want to say get these anyway. Not a sponsor, but I guess I'll say it. It's an all light one. All lights are nice, but damn, they're expensive. Trim some of this extra hair off. This actual rabbit fur. I said this is a real rabbit pelt. I love the way it smells, and the texture and everything is so nice on it. I'm big on textures and things like that. Now, part of the reason I use these fake furs like this is actually, like, honestly quite nice for a fake fur. They've really improved the quality of these since I was a little kid. I gotta thank furries for that. Thank you, furries. Y'all are doing a service for everyone else, making everyone up the game on leathers or on furs. Even my chair. Look at the bottom of my chair was wearing out. Oh, you can't see it. I replaced the seat of my chair with fake fur because it's so comfy and soft. And what I'm actually gonna do at some point, this cape that you see here, I'm actually going to go to IKEA one day, and I'm going to do the Game of Thrones thing. For Game of Thrones, they went to IKEA, and they took the sheepskin throw rugs that are like 30, 40 bucks or whatever, and they attached some belts to them, and they turned them into the capes, or the mantles for the capes, for all the capes. They just dyed them different colors, and it's just actual sheepskin rugs that you can pick up at IKEA for really cheap. So if you're trying to do Game of Thrones cosplay, do exactly what they did. Don't buy one of the ones on Amazon or whatever that looks like it, but they're like 30 bucks as well. Go buy an actual sheepskin, get a cheap cape, or get a black bed sheet, right? And some sheepskin, and then cut the bed sheet to the right length that you need, pin it to the sheepskin rug, and stitch like this, like I'm doing. Stitch a belt to your sheepskin in the corners, and you want to do here and here, and then you cross them across your chest and you strap them in, and then it's exactly what they did for Game of Thrones. That's it. And they look really, really good. They keep you very warm. It's a real sheepskin, so you have that actual like animal fur quality and the benefits of using actual animal furs, which is like water resistance and warmth and things like that, are the important parts. Really? Oh man, this is a tough spot. There we go. Did the cordage come through? Yes. Okay. But yeah, that's something. If you didn't know about that, now you do. That's how they did Game of Thrones. Really simple. And really cheap, like really cheap compared to like what I see a lot of people do, especially at the Ren fairs, is they do reindeer pelt. And reindeer pelt is really, really nice. Don't get me wrong. It keeps you extremely warm. It has really good weather resistant properties, but it's fucking expensive, dude. I'm talking like a cape with reindeer fur is like, we're talking like between $800 and $1,000 for a really high quality one. But you could just have the sheepskin pelt and make your own for like $100. You know, so it's like they're worth it. Don't get me wrong; those reindeer pelts are worth it. They're really, really nice. They're extremely soft. They're very, very good materials. Extremely durable. Reindeer pelt is very, very nice for that. But it's just not necessary for most people who are going to the fair. You don't need your $1,000 reindeer furs when you can use a $30 sheepskin throw rug. And it's like, it's a pelt. Like, they don't try to trim it up or anything. They're just like, here's the sheepskin. Here you go. Have it. And it's exactly what they used. It's why overcomplicate it? You know? Why overcomplicate it? Like my Lord of the Rings stuff. I have a whole Lord of the Rings cosplay set that I've been building. And it is... I mean, I wore it to the Ren Fair this past weekend, and it was really good. Really comfy. Worked out great. But it's just... I basically went and watched the videos from O3. The like commentaries of the videos, or from the movies. With the costume designer from Weta, who was talking about how she designed all this stuff. And it was just... Dude, it worked. Like, I just followed what they did and did everything right. Like... My character from Lord of the Rings is a character who's not on screen in the movies. It's Halbarad. Halbarad is the kind of the guy who runs the Grey Company, and the Grey Company are the Rangers that in the books, go with the boys to Dunharrow to go meet the dead men of Dunharrow. You know, the ones who have to fulfill their oath to the heir to the throne of Gondor, etc., etc. The blood of Isildur, all that. And then they also are the ones who carry his banner into battle at Osgiliath and Pelennor Fields, if I remember correctly. I know Pelennor Fields, and then at the Black Gate as well. I think it's also Osgiliath, but I cannot remember. But they're the guys who are like right there next to Aragorn during all this stuff in the books. And Halbarad is the commander of the company. But he has no screen time in any of the movies. So I got to make it up how I wanted to. So I'm wearing like a gray cardigan, like a hooded cardigan that's it's a heathered gray, like a dark heathered gray, and then I have a sleeveless overcoat that's dark green that I weathered with waxes and dyes and tea staining and things like that to make it look really old and grungy. And then let's see, did I do this right? I did not do this right because I want this to fold over. And then I need to, oh no, I did do it right. Yeah. I need to do it this way. Yeah. Okay. So, Halbarad, no screen time, so I got to design it how I wanted. So my character has like a padded brown vest with a red like really long vest underneath it, so that way I could get that look that the Rangers of Ithilien have with the red leather vest, or the leather vest in like an ox blood that has the red cloth underneath it, and then they had like green sleeves and green and gray coats. The Grey Company are said to have gray cloaks, so I have the gray and the green with the overcoat and the undercoat, both being gray and or green. So that way I could kind of double up on that. And then I've got like, so I've got the red, the gray, the green. I wear a gray tunic underneath all of that. And then I have, I actually have a circlet, which is right here. I have this circlet, which has broken, and I have repaired with some waxed cotton cordage, and I made these slip covers on the end out of some faux gator skin because it was like really rough and rubbing on my skull and very uncomfortable. But this is my like, I wear this on my Halbarad costume just because I was like, all right, he's not royalty, but he is royalty adjacent, and I felt like he would have something like this if he's like the commander of the Grey Company. So that's what I wear as my headpiece for that. I think it looks good. It's, you know, and again, since I'm kind of deciding what this character looks like, that's what I decided, that he wears that with his equipment so that he can show who he is as a status symbol. He's the captain, he's the commander, he's the guy in charge, you know. Whether or not that's actually accurate to his character, not really, but that's okay because it works for what I'm doing. All right, just tie this off. I'm just tying like a surgeon's knot basically, and then a couple extra ties off so that it won't come undone, the same way that they tie your stitches when you get stitches. If you need to get stitches, you know, that's how they do it. I use the same methods because it works really well. Whoop, 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 whoop. Everything's sliding. There we go. Okay. All right. Whoop. Yep. Okay. There's a lot of furs here. It gets heavy. And it winds up being really complicated to work with. Now I have another fur that I wear. This is a half cape, so it's designed to be like just over one shoulder and comes down part way down my back. I wear it with my pirate costume or with my courtly garb. Instead of having like a velvet or a jacquard or something like that, I have this furs half cape, which I think it fits my adventure-y character better. My pirate captain is like a whatever you need to get it done kind of character. And I like the idea that he would have something like this just because he's like, well, I like the fur, so I wear the fur. There's also actually, there is actually a little bit of character lore behind it. My character at one point had a dog, and his doggo died. And the fur is actually his doggo's fur, his pet. So now he is always by his side at all times. I got my tiny cute little scissors for trimming up these strings here. Bloop. Grab these. See, I have a lot of extra, but that just makes it easier to work while I'm working. I could have done it with, you know, half as much thread, but it's just easier this way. And I'm going for ease of creation because that's how I like to do things. But I save these little bits because maybe I just need that much to tie something onto something. I'm not going to stitch it. I'm not going to stitch the whole thing. I'm just going to do not stitching like this over a smaller area. Just put in a few tacks basically like that. So now I have this rabbit pelt that sits over the top of the half cape to add a little accent to it. Very nice. That's the back side, that's the front side, so that's going to sit like that. Now we've got this loose leg here, and I need to tack that on to here. So, we need to lay this out the way it's going to sit on my shoulder. Then I'm going to feel it. I can see that right here is that shape that we've got from the thing underneath. I can kind of feel where that pelt is. So I'm going to go for right here. Does that look like we have enough space on both sides? Yeah, right there. So we're going to put a dot right there and a dot right there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to grab our X-Acto knife, cut a little slit, boom, through just the fake fur. Same with on this side. Slit through just the fake stuff. Okay. And we're going to push through our fingers to right on here. Okay. Yep. Okay, so that's opened up. Now we're going to take our Sharpie. We're going to stick it in that hole we just made. Swizzle it around a little bit. Make sure we get that mark onto our fur. There it is. Boom. That's a little close to the edge. I don't like that, but we can fix it. Not a big deal. We can adjust that. Okay, so now we gotta flip it back out. A little bit complicated here. We're gonna go back to our awl. We're gonna punch a hole right through here. Bam. Punched right in there. All right, then we're gonna grab our chainsaw file. We're gonna fix that up. You back? Nice. Welcome back. All right, and then on this side, we're gonna skip the awl on this one. Just gonna go straight with the chainsaw file and work that in. Bam. Worked. Okay, and we're gonna take our tweezers. Stick our tweezers through too, just to make sure that's really open, nice and easy. Make sure that's actually open like we want it. Had to let it cook a little bit longer because the pizza wasn't fully done. Oof, yeah, that's unfortunate, brother. Brother. All right. God, this still smells like a campfire. Oh, at the fair there was because it was cold, and we don't get cold much here in Texas, so it was cold at this fair, and a lot of people had little fire pits, little fire rings next to their tents and stuff, which was pretty cool. So as you're walking along, you could just kind of hang out next to the fire pit and chat with them for a little while. And it was a nice, small, intimate fair. There weren't too many people, so it was really cool to just, like, hang out and chat with different shopkeepers and stuff. I definitely made a lot of relationships with those people out there, I feel. I mean, a lot of those people, I'd come back around, and they'd be like, hey, you're back! And then they'd stop me, and we'd talk for another half hour or so, and just sharing drinks and just chatting and telling stories and just hanging out. You know, that's part of the reason I like going to that kind of stuff, because it's just about, like, community in that scale. Going to the big ones, like I normally go to one called Scarborough Fair here in Waxahachie. I'm not in Waxahachie, but up in North Texas in Waxahachie, and that one's cool. Don't get me wrong, but it kind of feels like an amusement park in comparison to the one that this one smaller one, Fair Champions, and like that's cool and all, and I do still like it, and they've got like jousting and all the big production stuff, which is pretty cool, but Fair Champions Not a sponsor. Neither of these are a sponsor. I got to be very, very clear about that. Nobody's sponsoring me. I'm not affiliated with any of them. None of that. But Fair Champions, very much more intimate. It's a lot of the same vendors, but like it's more of like the people who actually give a damn, if that makes sense, about doing this kind of stuff. And like, I didn't see a single person not in a costume. Every single person who went to this fair was wearing some form of costume, even if it was just a tunic and shirt. They had something on, you know. So it was really cool in that way that like everybody was participating. You know, they all wanted to take part in what was going on, and I like that because you don't always get that with fairs, especially like with the bigger fairs where it's more of a like Scarborough or like TRF or you know, any of those bigger ones. You really don't get that same kind of vibe, and that's, I mean, it's fine, but it's just not as fun. You know, I like the more intimate vibe. Just hanging out with shopkeepers and just like chatting and chilling. Dude, I mean, you probably have one in your area, I'm not going to lie. There's over 400 across the United States, Renaissance festivals and things. And you don't have to wear a costume. You can just show up and have a good time and just use it as an excuse to drink and hang out and talk to people. Like, that's what most people do anyway. Yeah, you probably have one in your area. So it would be worth checking out. There is a website, I cannot remember the name of it, but there is a website where you can check listings of where they all are and stuff like that. All the different fairs and stuff that are around. But I guarantee, I mean, you're in Central Time Zone, so I know there's a bunch in Central Time Zone. Like, there's 5 of them in my local area alone. So there's plenty of them around. You have to do some kind of taxi. Don't have a car right now. Don't have a ride. No whip, if you will. Oh, you don't drive? Oh, yeah, I thought you had a car, though. Or am I thinking of somebody else? I mean, honestly, there's like, you might check to see if you have a local fair and then check for like, oh, you have one car. Okay, yeah, I got you. What you can do is you can check for your local fairs, see if you have one, right? And then look for groups for your local fair on like Facebook or whatever and see if there's anybody in your area that you could carpool with. Because most people, if you're like, hey, I'm going to my first fair ever, they'll welcome you into their group with open arms, you know, and you play D&D, so it's really easy to, you already know the kind of people you'll be interacting with. It's the same kind of people, okay? The D&D to Ren Fair overlap is massive. And so, like, it's the kind of people who show up to the D&D session in a costume with a themed drink. Like, those are the people who you see at the fair, you know, like, it's those guys. So like, you can have a lot of fun. Hell, you might even be able to get like your D&D group. I don't know if you have like a local play D&D group, or I think you said you play online, right? But either way, you might be able to find like a group of people to go with as a whole. Like, I know if I was playing in a D&D group and my group was like, hey man, we want to go to the Renaissance Fair, I'd be like, yo, yes, let's go. Like, let's do it. Make it a big event, you know? I love that kind of stuff. Furthest person was like an hour drive. That's really not that far. I just drove 2.5 hours to go to a Ren Fair, and I drive 45 minutes to go to the local one. So, I mean, that's not that bad. That's doable. An hour is nothing. For this kind of stuff, anyway. Just tying a surgeon's knot on this. Tying a couple extra overhands just to make sure that's really on there. And this is a waxed cotton cord, so as it warms up, it'll kind of seal itself together. Boom. There we go. Now that's all done. It's all secured nicely. That ain't going nowhere. We still got a little bit of flappage down here so that it can move and breathe and have that movement. But we've got it just simply tacked on here, 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 and here. And then through the center right there. Bam. There it is. and this just sits over my shoulder. So this will sit like right behind my back, across my neck, and there it is. My beautiful half furs cape with the rabbit fur across the top. That'll go in my bin of costume accessories. I'm also going to show this off. From the same guy where I got that rabbit pelt, I picked up this. This is an actual red fox pelt. Well, it's either red fox or smoky fox. I cannot remember. The tails look almost identical. But I was going to get the full smoky fox pelt, but unfortunately they sold it right before, like literally to the people right before me when I was walking in. So I didn't get to buy that. And I didn't get the full red fox pelt because my friend got that. She wanted the red fox pelt for her costume, but I wanted the gray smoky fox pelt. But they did have the tail, and the tails are almost identical. So it may be a red fox tail, not sure, but it does have a lot of gray in it. Either way, this is really nice. It's an actual foxtail. I'm taking really good care of it, but I use this with my costume as well. I have a hunter character. It's like a Viking hunter. Well, okay, Viking hunter is incorrect. He's a Nordic hunter, a Scandinavian hunter, because Viking is a job, not a person. Viking is a job. So you can be a Viking, but not all Scandinavian people at the time were Vikings, right? So my character is a hunter who uses the same kind of equipment and carries stuff like this and has a bunch of furs and stuff. That's where I have a big bear fur cape and stuff like that for that character. But yeah, this sits behind me now, actually. If you happen to look in the background of my normal streams, you can see it hanging on the little shelf behind me. Just peeking out from behind the corner. But that is one of my beautiful little furs. All right. That has been an interesting day. Today, we started by painting these old, dingy, dusty old pirate guns. These started as some plastic flintlocks that I picked up at the not a sponsor Cracker Barrel. And we painted them up with some oxidizing paint. I mixed up this color that looks like oxidized brass and bronze, mixed up this rusty color, and then we just weathered it all up, put a big thick black wash on there, left it heavy so you can see the splotchiness so that it has kind of that tiger maple-y look to it. It's not perfect, okay? It's not supposed to be. This is just going to be seen from a distance. That's why I went heavy on the bright blues and stuff, so that it really pops out at you. From a distance, you'll really see that, especially up here when it's sticking out of my sash. And my sash has a lot of these same color tones in it, so it's going to look really nice. And we did the same thing on this one. Took care of that all, washed it up, weathered it up, looked at it all beat up and gross and dingy and perfect. Those are our pistols, little pistoleros for my pirate costume, and then we took care of that furs, which you just saw. I'm going to go ahead and call it a day here. It's been quite the fun day. We're at about our limit here. I've got a couple other things I need to take care of today, unrelated to stream. It has been a very productive day. That is correct. I agree with that statement. Are these? No. Okay. Yeah. So these are fun. There's a little bit more I want to do with these. May see them make a return. Not sure. But these have been fun. This has been a very fun day. I'm definitely going to try to do more streams like this because I enjoy this kind of making content where I'm like actually making a physical thing. I also have... Ooh, this is the perfect time to show this. Ugh. I do things like these too. Ugh. These teeny tiny RC trucks. These are kind of one of my jam. Hang on, there's one more I want to grab. Oh, can I grab it from here? Oh, move, trash can. Oh, just barely. Yes. Okay. Yes. Perfect. Okay, so these are 124 scale RC trucks. They're based on the Axial SCX24 platform. I love doing this kind of stuff. I actually want to customize a couple of these a little bit more. This one is like my loaner truck. It's got like a nice set of upgrades in it. Pretty convenient here. Everything's all nice. It's got wired up for lighting and everything like that. Whoop, the wires pinched there. This one is an Maus MB24 kit that I built up using the same stuff, same internals, electronics, everything like that. Just having a lot of good time with this. Really fun. Love doing this kind of stuff. And this one here is a fully custom built out. It's made to be like a little mud truck. It's actually built out of this model kit, the AMT Snap Fit Toyota 4x4. So this model kit is what I used for the body on this one. And put a little clone trooper in there, a little Lego clone trooper in there as the driver. But I love this stuff. I want to do stuff like this too on stream, where I'm like working on these, building them up, or just like playing around with them or something, just messing around. I also like to make like scale crawler courses for these things to do stuff with. So that may be something that makes an appearance in our streams later on. I love these so much; they're very fun. So yeah, that's something I'm looking at. Anyway. We'll be seeing what happens. We may do some more crafting style stuff here in the future. Anyway, for now, my name is The Wicked Bird. You can find me here on Twitch Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. I normally do Minecraft streams during the week. Saturdays are the wild card. We do whatever on Saturday. You can also find all of my VODs, everything on my YouTube channel at The Wicked Bird. Upload them all right after I'm done streaming. Click all the buttons, like, follow, subscribe, do that stuff. Check out Chill Hop. They provide the music. Thank you, Chill Hop. Check out the Discord. It's down below. I hope you guys had a great day. I've had a great day. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.